we're just starting, but you sure we got the clue how that this we go. Don't you know? No more art. And as I look to the horizon, not a cloud, but then storming with it's go too cold. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere, all around you is not what you foretold. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done but the time it hit you, you're not surprised. Think you got your game planned out. Do a D, get 'em 2 steps ahead, yeah. So step into my way, stand out. It's a trap, one step, and you're dead. Why just a second ago? Clear blue skies, but now lightning struck your last result. It's not an accident that no one hears your cries as your last dream seems to desert. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done but the time it hit you, you're not surprised. I'm coming for you. My game's always so fast, so fine. You're spanning, but the net you didn't catch it in time. Better think about your game. Are you sure your next move's the right one for you? Are you sure you won't get outmaneuvered again, my friend? You never see it coming. You see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done but the time it hit you, you're not surprised. I'm coming for you. My game's always so fast, so fine. You're spanning, but the net you didn't catch it in time.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another OJ Live special. We got the PlayStation 5 reveal event going down at the top of the hour. So should be pretty interesting to see finally what the PS5 is going to be. But I want to say good morning to all of you guys out there, even East Coast boys. Good morning. Welcome to the special show that we got going here for you guys. The chat box, it's working on Twitch, but it should work in a little bit on YouTube, so I don't know what's going on. But no, it's working. It's working. It'll work in just a bit. Give it just a second. See, there you go. But welcome all. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Should be a pretty good event. I'll be honest, guys, I'm tired. I didn't go to sleep till late because I was editing. I was playing Trials of Mana till like 1 a.m. or something like that, like 1 something a.m. Dude, it's so good. Trials of Mana is so good. Go pick it up. I don't care what system you pick it up on. Buy it on Switch, buy it on PS4, buy it on PC via Steam. Man, it's so good, dude. So I've been playing that. Had a lot of fun. Did a video for you guys in the morning. But looking forward to the show today, man. So I'm looking forward to just kind of talking about PS5, and discussing everything that's going on there, because I think it's gonna be a pretty good show. So, so yeah, man. A lot of good stuff. Here, man. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into some Ninja news. So I did have that Trials of Mana video for you guys, so make sure you guys check that out if you haven't already done so, or put it on your watch later list. So they have that Trials of Mana video. We didn't really have anything else since it's the morning, so not really anything else in terms of it. Shout outs to the Viking Nation that's here watching, everybody that's overseas, and everybody who might be quarantined or anything, man. Like, hope you can just relax, don't think about everything else for just a second, and just, focus on talking about some games and stuff, So I'm excited to talk about that. Get into all of that good stuff. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and let's get into Elite Ninja stuff. So yeah, guys, we're at 213 Elite Ninja. We broke a freaking record for player essence. Make sure you guys, if you guys want to play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which we'll probably play today at some point. I just got to figure out the time. Maybe tonight in tonight's live stream. I got to record some stuff with some other people after this stream. So we'll figure it out. We'll play it by ear in terms of things. We'll probably play tonight, though. Maybe we'll play tonight or right before. I'm not 100% sure. This week's been crazy with special events, Indie World presentation. Now we have this as well, so we'll figure that out. But if you want to play, hit the Elite Ninja link. We got the links in the description. Also, there's the Elite link. You'll see it here. So check it out. Trying to get to 217 Elite Ninja. We're trying to get to 250 by the end of the month or so. So 250 is our goal for the end of the month. 500 by E3. So good stuff. But anyway, moving on to shout outs. If you're here in the chat, you want me to say hi, I'll be more than happy to say hi, and I'll say hi to everybody here. So let's see here. Twitch Boys first, Spyro. Spyroer, what's up, man? Ranavir is here as well. Dreamcast Guy collab at some point. Let's see here. Tommy Raiku, what's up, Tommy? How's it going? Yo, Big Migs Gaming with the $2 donation. And he says, just because I wanted to, LOL. Thanks for streaming. Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. I'll be honest, I'm tired, though. I stayed up too late. I probably should have done a video in the morning, but I really wanted to. Dude, I really wanted to get that, what's it called? To get that, that Trials of Mana video. I really wanted to get that gameplay video out to talk to you guys about it, man. So thank you for the JoJo beatdown. Appreciate that. Big Migs, that does make you the top stream ninja. Top stream ninja and the top stream Hokage as well. I appreciate the support, bro. I really do. Thank you for the $2. But yeah, I just wanted to play. That game is so good, man. I had to force myself to go to sleep. Ayo, can't wait for that Trials of Mana. Yeah, Shadow Fang, what's up, man? Trials of Mana is really good. Dexter Dream, what's up, man? How's it going? Hanalis, what's up, man? How's it going? Welcome to the stream, boys and girls. Real Caveman, what's up, man? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Good morning. Dragon Gamer, what is good? I don't know how to say this name. Amireza, what's up, man? How's it going? Welcome. Dank Meme, how's it going? Javier Ramirez, what's good, man? Yo, Frank R, my boy, what's good? You excited for this PS5 reveal? Tell me what you guys are excited to see for this PS5 reveal. You guys ready for some nice spec talks, baby? Let's do it. Specs, let's go. Teraflops, that's all we need to know. Where's the General Nintendo Direct? What's good? How's it going? Welcome. Diego, my boy, what's good? Diego, my man hanging out with Dort. Dawson, what's up, man? Playing the demo now actually convinced me to get the game. Yeah, it really is that good, dude. That's why I said buy it. Check out the demo yourself. But it is a clean remake, man. It is sexy. I like it. Excited for some prices. I don't know if we'll get prices right now because I think they're probably still trying to figure out exactly what price is gonna be. So I don't know if we'll get prices right now. ZT Money, what's good? ZT Quantum L, what's good? Chain Lightning, what's up, man? Welcome. Yeah, the Trials of Mana demo is really good. Big Migs Gaming with the $5 donation says, for some sleeping pills after the stream, LOL. I'll be here the whole stream. They closed my job to disinfect and clean the whole office. Okay, shout outs, Big Migs. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. That does up your top Stream Ninja and Stream Hokage lead. So thank you so much, dude. I appreciate it. Just gonna put that 5 up biggest donation of the stream. So thank you, man. I appreciate the $5 and the $2 beforehand, man. Yeah, disinfecting is very important. A lot of people's jobs are getting closed down, you know, so you guys have time to watch stuff. So I'm here to provide. That's why I wanted to get that video out to you guys in the morning, because I know you guys have more time to watch stuff. So I don't care if I'm tired. I got to make sure that I get content out to you guys. I got to make sure that I work as much as possible, you know, so especially in this time period, you know, so thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yo, thank you, Dank Meme, for the host. Appreciate that. Let's see. Moo, what's up, man? I like to hear about backwards compatibility. All right, sounds good. T Pianist, my boy, says this was the first cycle where I got big boy job and I can afford a console. I'm actually excited for the Xbox and PlayStation 5. Prices be damned. Hey, there you go. That's living, man. You know what the funny thing is, like, it's like, oh, now I can afford everything, but then it's like time. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. Like, usually, like, when you're younger, you have plenty of time, but then you don't have the money. And then when you're older, you have plenty of money, or you have enough money, but then you don't have the time. So it's like one or the other. Sometimes you don't have both, you know? So yeah, I heard about the Bleach anime coming back. I think I kind of want to check that out myself too. I'm definitely gonna check it out. Sean Sweeney, my man, yo, he says I'm ready to see some teraflops because you know it's all that matters in the console. That's all that matters. I don't know how to say this. MAOD. I don't know how to pronounce that. Modas. What's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Flip999, what's up, Flip Mode? Welcome. Now, don't overwork yourself. I know. Don't overwork myself, but I kind of have to work a lot in order for my channel to grow. Let's see here. I want to see what the PS5 looks like and the controller. Also, hope for backwards compatible and other things. Okay, that's very reasonable. Honestly, loving Square Enix for consistently having demos and games with the ability to carry over saves. Yes, that's awesome. Really is. They did that with Dragon Quest. Willie Bevins the third, man. Looking forward to my morning videos when you walk the dog. Hey, there you go. Let's see here. Party Man, what's up, Party Man? Welcome to the stream, the bodyguard. Jetty is here as well. What's good, man? Dusty Sice says, hey, senpai. Hey, what's up, man? Frank R says, for me, backwards compatibility and hopefully something similar or close to smart delivery for all previous PS games. Okay. Okay. Read all the manga. All right, there you go. Read all the manga. Katana Riku, what's good, man? He says, we will see the console itself. Hopefully. Some people don't think we'll see the console, though. Some people think that we won't see the console. So I think it depends, man. Demolition Man says, just want to hear what's under the hood of the PS5 to see what the different tech they may use over Xbox. It's going to be the same tech, to be honest. There's not really going to be anything different. The PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One are pretty much the same thing. They're both x86. They're both going to use AMD. They're both going to use some type of Zen CPU. So, I mean, there's not really going to be much. I mean, there might be some little sprinkles here and there in terms of what they're going to be doing. But the tech is literally going to be the exact same. It's the same architecture, same tech. They're going to use SSDs. They're going to use everything the same. Like I said, a few differences, few buzzwords here and there, what they're going to do. But outside of that, it's probably going to be the same exact thing as Microsoft. The GOAT says 2017 and 2020 Nintendo Switch PS5 presentations both sounds to be similar. I guess. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see the format of it. I mean, a presentation is a presentation, but I don't know how they're similar yet. But anyway, Demolition. I mean, you got to remember, 2017 presentation for Nintendo, they showed off a ton of games. They showed off a bunch of games. They talked about price. They talked about all sorts of stuff. So I don't know how it's similar yet. Let's see the format. I highly doubt we're going to see as many games that Nintendo showed off in either one of their presentations. Nintendo actually showed off like a bunch of games. I don't know if Sony's going to do that with their presentation, you know, but we'll see. Because like we're closer to the release. Like in 2017, we were closer to the release of the Switch than Sony is to the release of the PlayStation 5. So I don't think it's going to be the same thing. Let's see here. Heartbeat Gaming, what's good? Dragon Gamer, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Andrew Gaming, what's up, man? It says, welcome back to YouTube. I've been back on YouTube for a couple months now, my boy. But thank you, I appreciate that. Owen George says, hi, from South Africa. Besides Final Fantasy 7, what other PS1 game would you like to see remade on the PS5? Legend of Dragoon. Dawson says, I just want to see something running, even if it's an older game, to see the capability. Oh, I think we'll see that. I think we'll see something like Spider-Man, you know, like running and like how much faster the load times are, or maybe they'll do like God of War or something like that, to where like, you know, it's like 4K 60 or something. So yeah, absolutely. Yo, shout outs to Rolleros, thank you, and also Velvet Lulu, thank you for the follows, guys. You guys should be able to comment on Twitch Voice in just about 10 minutes. All right, thank you for the follows. I appreciate that. Shadow Fang says, have you seen the Gungeon? Yeah, I've already saw it. I streamed the Indie Direct, so I already saw the game, my boy, Shadow Fang. I talked about it on my video on my YouTube channel too. Let's see here. The GOAT says a new God of War will launch title. That's all I have to say. I don't think a new God of War is going to be a launch title because that means that's a 2-year turnaround from 2018 God of War. So that means they finished God of War in 2018 or whatever, and then all of a sudden 2 years later they have a sequel ready. I don't think so. I think that might be a little too quick for that. Let's see here. Gucci Dolphin, what's good, man? How's it going, Gucci Dolphin? Jet Moto remade? Yeah, Jet Moto would be really cool. I like Jet Moto. That's actually one of my favorite PS1 games. Lion Sensei says I'm fine with my PC and Switch. I think a lot of people are good with PC and Switch because then you get pretty much all the big third-party games and everything on PC, and you get free online, and then you have your Switch for portable play or Nintendo exclusives. So a lot of people are good with that. But it's cool. It's cool to see what Sony's doing. I think that it's always good to have competition as well. Yo, Bahamut, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream, dude. How you doing today? Thank you for the Ambu pledge just the other day, man. I appreciate you, homie. Let's see. Big Mig says, I have a quick question. Saw in Walmart they have 2 versions of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the original game for $49.99 and the other version for $30. What's the other version? The other version, that's the expansion pass. That's called Torn of the Golden Country. I'm not sure if you've been watching, if you watched any of my videos, I talked about it a million times, but Torn of the Golden Country, it's an expansion to the original game. So you find out it's like a prequel essentially. So it's a different game. It's a completely different game, but it uses there's some of the same characters, but it has the story kind of interconnects. So that's essentially what's going down there. A lot of the backstory from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is explored in Torn of the Golden Country. So yeah, it has some of the same characters in them, some of the blades and stuff like that. Mithra, Jin, and some other people that you can use too. So yeah, that's the difference. Check out all my videos that I've done. I've done a number of videos. Just type in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torn of the Golden Country, and then that kind of explains everything. But yeah, if you just got into it, that's the reason why you didn't watch them. That's cool. But yeah, that's the difference between the two of them. Let's see here. Literally trying to stay awake in Japan for 1 a.m. reveal. Oh man, are you in Japan? Hey man, hey, shout outs to you, man. Salutes. You're up, man. Just get the coffee. Keep it going, dude. D'Amico Velaz says a Horizon Zero Dawn 2 launch title. I mean, I don't know, man. That'd be tough, but I mean, I think it's possible, but it'd be rough because Horizon Zero Dawn came out in 2017. Let's see here. How are all the Xenoblades connected? That's a spoiler. Let's see here. Gucci Dolphin says, I have a feeling that Nate is going to be right, unfortunately, and that this event will mostly be a talk about the system's tech and possibly some specs. I do hope for much more, however. Well, if you just base it on what they did last time in 2013, they did show off the controller, they did talk about the specs, and they did show off games. They did show off Killzone Shadowfall, they did show off Knack. They did have some games there. So, I mean, I think that it is very possible that it's also other stuff as well, you know. Thank you, Brian Beerfield, for the subscription. Appreciate that. Welcome to the village. Yo, Justin McMullen says, OJ, I always love to support the channel. I wanted to ask, with the high quality of the channel and dedication to it, why aren't there more subs? I don't know, bro. Algorithm problems. I have no idea, man. I'm thankful for what I have, though. I'm thankful for the community and what I have, though. But I have no idea. YouTube's a search engine, so if you're not talking about stuff that people are searching enough, then you might not get more subscribers. But I'm thankful for 50K plus that I got, man. I'm not going to sit here and complain. Let's see here. Where is it being streamed? It's being streamed on the PlayStation blog, Philip. So if you go to the official PlayStation blog, you can watch the official stream there. We're going to be watching it at the top of the hour, though. So if you want to hang out here and watch it here with us, you can do so. If you want to go over to the PS blog, you can watch it there, too. Let's see here. Hey, what's up, J2 Blue? How's it going? Says, what's up, OJ? How does Trials of Mana compare to the PS4 version? I haven't played the PS4 version yet, so I don't really know. So I think it's probably similar. It's just Unreal Engine 4. They probably just made the base game, and like they're not maxing out anything. They're not even maxing out the Switch, you know. So I highly doubt that it's really going to be anything crazy in terms of it. So I think the comparison's going to be good enough. Yeet Boy, what's up, Yeet Boy? Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? Or no, not Yeet Boy. Yee Boy. Not Yeet Boy. Let's see here. I'll re-elite up when I get paid tomorrow. It's all good, man. No problem, Tommy. I appreciate the support, bro. Is it Peter Neath? I don't know how to say it. Peter Neath? I don't know how to say your name, dude. I'm sorry. Says, hey there, OJ. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay. I'm a little tired, but I'm doing okay. I had myself a little tortilla with some cheese on it this morning for breakfast. That's all I had. But I'm doing okay. I cannot complain. I cannot complain. I can't chat too much since I'm at work. I'll be lurking. Hey, it's all good, man. Take care of business at work, my boy. Thank you, J2 Blue, for coming out to the stream, man. Don't get caught by the boss. Oh, man. Let's see if Frank says, I downloaded the demo late last night, but fell asleep before the download was done. I know. That's happened. I remember one time I fell asleep. It was the other day when I did a video for, I think it was Animal Crossing and Xenoblade with the Mexican release date in terms of the Amazon Mexico. And I fell asleep while it was processing my video, and it went up, and I didn't even have like my tags done. I didn't have my I didn't have the ads done. I didn't have anything done, and I was just like, woke up in the morning and just fixed it. I was like, whatever. So I've been there before, man. Been there before. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Don't know how to say the name, but thank you for the follow on Twitch, boys. Messiah, I don't know. I think it's Messiah. Says, hi player, since this is my first live stream. Hey, welcome to the stream, my boy. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Godfall gameplay. Yeah, that's that Gearbox game, right? Blue Phoenix says, hey, OJ, hope you're staying healthy. I'm actually pretty healthy, boys. I'm actually pretty healthy. You know, I eat pretty healthy. I exercise. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I've actually, since this whole situation with CV, I've actually lost about 7 pounds because I just haven't been going out to eat. I haven't been eating fast food or eating out as much, you know. I've been pretty much just been eating from home. So I've actually lost quite a bit of weight. Let's see, you're going to be working from home starting tomorrow. Hey, there we go, Abaddon. Let's go, boys. Hey, Nindo the Chosen, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? I'm glad that you're working from home, Abaddon. Shout outs, my boy. Let's see here. Paint that purposes. You can eat cheese, but not milk. Me too. Actually, I can eat cheese and I can drink milk if I want to. I'm lactose intolerant though. If I eat too much, then I'm going to have issues. When I talk about me eating cheese, I'm talking about I sprinkle the smallest amount of cheese on there, as in like one or two little sprinkles. Okay, I don't slather the whole damn tortilla with cheese like Taco Bell does or anything like that. I mean, like, I'll buy one bag of the cheese and that cheese will last for like more than a month. You know, like the resealable bag, because I just put a little sprinkle. I don't put too much on there. That's not even like a big bag. It's a small bag of cheese. So I do like cheese, but I can't eat it like that, you know? So I just put really very, very, very small amount. Very small amount. And I drink milk. I just drink almond milk. I don't drink 2% milk. I drink almond milk. So yeah. No, I don't drink cow milk. No. I don't drink cow milk. I drink almond milk. Almond milk is so much better for you. So no, I don't drink cow milk. Cow milk is disgusting. Let's see here. Monado Mario, what's up, man? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. You had a agusi soup yesterday? Yo, Big Migs. This was crazy good. First time trying Nigerian food. It won't be the last. My boy is gonna hook me up. Nice. Yo, Big Migs. Hey, there you go with that Nigerian cuisine, my boy. Almond milk mixed with coconut milk is a game changer. Okay, I ain't trying to be all like crazy scientists and all that. That's too advanced for me. I'm so basic, my boy. I need once my wife gets here, she can be doing all that stuff. that's already too many. That's already too many steps for me. You know, hey, you know me, T pianist. I'm so basic. I eat the most basic stuff, dude. The most advanced thing that I've had in the past month or so is freaking lemon pepper chicken wings at Wingstop, bro. I'm so basic. I just eat grilled chicken, vegetables, brown rice with the rice cooker, a little bit of seasoning and stuff like that. I don't be mixing nothing. Oh man, what do you think we'll see from Sony? I think we'll see this talk about system specs. Maybe we'll see a game or two. So yeah, man. Social distancing makes everyone healthier, pretty much. I mean, at least at this point. Team Almond Milk, hey, there you go, Team Almond Milk. Yeah. Becoming a health nut too. All right, good stuff, Spyro. Wingstop is dope. I agree. Wingstop is good. DJB presents. Yo, what's up, man? Welcome to the village. Thanks for the subscription. Appreciate it. How you doing today, man? Welcome to the Elite Ninja Village, my boy. All right, so we got the PlayStation blog. Let's see if we make sure everything's okay here with this. So I don't know where it's gonna pop up on the PlayStation blog, guys. Like they just said, watch it on the PlayStation blog. So we're gonna have to like refresh, or I'm not exactly sure. They just said watch it on the PlayStation blog. So um, I'm just gonna be refreshing and seeing when it actually goes live. Then we'll switch over to it and everything. I prefer Buffalo Wild Wings, but Wingstop is okay. Buffalo Wild Wings, no, I'm good on that Buffalo Wild Wings, but it's all good, man. I don't care what you prefer. If you prefer that, it's all good. Let's see here. I need wings in my life. Is not okay. All right. Great to be here. Yo, what's up, Daniel? OJ, hoping for a great stream and also hoping for many views from last night. Hey, man, the fact that, look, listen, if as a content creator, if you can get more than 100 people watching you stream, you definitely are doing something right. You know what I'm saying? That's where things get kind of interesting and you have the potential to grow. So I'll take anything over 100 viewers. Heck, even before 100 viewers, I was happy with 50 to 60 viewers. If you can get 15, 20 people watching you, the fact that they're spending their free time with you, that's, you need to be grateful for that. That's the reason why I don't complain about my sub count anymore. Like, just be grateful that people are even willing to spend their time, because they don't have to. There's 5 billion other content creators that are more popular that they can be spending their time with than y'all here. So I'm good, man. So thank you. I appreciate the support. Let's see. Almond milk is too thick. How do I like it? Almond milk is not thick at all. 2% milk is way thicker than almond milk. Almond milk is thin. It's not real milk. What are you talking about? Almond milk is thin as hell. If you get the almond milk, get the light almond milk. Get the silk almond milk light. That's like the 30 calories per serving. You can get the unsweetened vanilla. That's super thin, dude. What are you talking about? It starts at the top of the hour in terms of the PlayStation event. Let's see here. Hey, OJ, the PlayStation YouTube channel's live streaming it as well. Okay. Yeah, we'll probably do that. Okay, guys. So let's go ahead and let's check out the PlayStation YouTube channel. And we can just let's check out the PlayStation YouTube channel to see if they're streaming it. Yo, Vision with the subscription. Thank you so much, man. Welcome to Elite Ninja Village, my boy. You said, okay, Road to PS5. Yeah, they are streaming it. They are. Okay, here we go. Road to PS5 premieres in 12 minutes. Okay, we'll watch it from here then, guys. We'll watch it from here. Remember, guys, there have been some buffering issues. I know it looks like they've been figured some things out because I haven't had anything, but there have been some buffering issues lately on YouTube. So keep that in mind, okay, guys? Keep that in mind. Cosmics Guy, 2002. Yo, welcome to the stream. Appreciate that. How you doing today? Welcome to the Elite Ninja Village, my boy. For all those who are new and are just joining me, my name is OJ. I stream a lot. I play games with the community. And I like to say I'm the most interactive YouTube content creator with 50,000 subscribers or more. There you go. Almond milk is super thick. No, you guys don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what almond milk you guys are drinking, but almond milk is not super thick. You guys are that's literally factually incorrect. It's not super thick at all. It's not made with disgusting cream, or it's not as thick as 2% milk or even 1% milk. So I don't know what you guys are talking about. The people that are saying almond milk is thick, no, it's not. OJ, where can we watch the thing at 9? You can watch it on the PlayStation YouTube channel, or you can watch it right here, my boy. I mean, I don't know. Almond milk it's water. It's made with freaking almonds, dude. Like, they freaking wring out almonds to make it. You guys are people that are saying that it's thicker. You guys have no idea what you're talking about. It's just factually incorrect. Let's see here. Ram Goose, yo, thank you so much, Ram Goose. I appreciate the subscription. Welcome to the stream, my boy. Nice collection. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's been over the past, I don't know, 30 years that I've been collecting all that stuff behind me. I drink almond milk too. There's no way that almond milk is not thick at all. People are tripping. What makes almond milk better than buying regular milk? Regular milk is not good for you in terms of like dairy products. It's not good for you. Almond milk is from almonds, so almonds are obviously better for you. So yeah. Too much saturated fat in regular milk in terms of like regular 2% milk compared to almond milk. Almond milk, if you get the almond milk unsweetened light, that one's probably the best that you can get for you. If you're a man, don't drink soy milk. Soy milk, it has estrogen in it, so it's gonna make you maybe get female kind of like boobies a little bit. So drink almond milk instead. Yo, some dude, what's good, man? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Shout outs to Sean Woltman and also Alan Scott. Thank you guys for subscribing. Appreciate that. Welcome to the Elite Ninja Village. Let's see here. Yo, Abstract, my boy. What's good, man? How you doing today? Welcome to the stream, dude. Shout outs. Welcome. Soy's not really that good for you either, period. Depends on what health professional you talk to. Tommy says, thanks, I'll go get some later. No problem, no problem. Lou Silver says, that's why, because people buy the unsweetened, sweetened one. That stuff is trash. The sweetened one? I mean, yeah, they add a little bit of sweetener to it and all that. Buy the unsweetened. Buy the unsweetened light. I would say the best type of soy milk to buy, guys, is unsweetened light silk vanilla almond milk. That's the best type of milk. You want to get a healthier milk for you, unsweetened light. You can get vanilla or you can get regular. So they just put a little bit of vanilla extract in there from like the leaves or whatever, or the flowers. But those are probably the best. Those are probably the best to get in terms of things. So yeah. All right. Yo, Robert, my boy. Yo, what's good, Robert? Yo, shout outs to my dude Robert from the Viking Nation. It's about what, 6 o'clock for you, going to 6 for you tonight? 5 o'clock? Hey, there you go. Finally streaming at a good time for you. The reveal starts at the top of the hour. We got about 9 minutes. Let's see here. Cereal doesn't hit the same with almond milk. It does. You just got to get used to almond milk. You're just not used to it. You're just used to disgusting regular milk. Once you get your taste buds used to almond milk, it hits the same exact way. Trust me. I was raised on 2% milk. My mom, seriously, up until I was like 18 years old, you know, I always had 2% milk. Always had 2% milk. And then in college, they told me that I'm lactose intolerant and I need to stop having dairy because I kept on having to use the restroom during football season. You know, so yeah, I kept on having to use the restroom because I'd be eating dairy products, and then like after an examination, they were like, "Yo, you're like lactose intolerant, man. You need to stop eating dairy products." And I was like, "Oh, really? That's why I'm like always like going to the restroom all the time." You know, I didn't even think about it. So yeah, and then I had to switch over to almond milk then, or I did soy milk and then I did almond milk. So yeah, nah. But once you get used to it, you're good. Let's see here. Okay. Are you racist? Banned. Hey, thanks for coming out to the channel though, man. I appreciate it. I don't think you ever subbed in the first place, but hey, I know you're trying to get attention. I get that. You know what I'm saying? I understand. But you know, it's all good, man. Thanks for coming out to the stream. thanks for proving that we still got people that are stupid and racist. I appreciate you though, homie. You don't really get to me, man. I'm good. I've been dealing with idiots like you my whole life, so it's all good. But thanks for coming out to the stream. Pretty much, man. What are my expectations for the PS5? Will there be GTA revealed? I don't think GTA is gonna be here, bro. I think that's asking a little bit too much, Adrian. Almond milk stream. We need an almond milk stream. Let's go. We need an almond milk stream. Let's see here. Volleyball game for PS4? Do you mean volleyball? Volleyball game? Is that what you're talking about? The PlayStation 5 reveal event is happening in 6 minutes, guys. So I have it on the official PlayStation account. Like I have they haven't went live with what's it called though, with the actual stream. So it premieres in 5 minutes. So that means it's already, I think it's already pre-recorded. And maybe they're uploading it. I think that's what it is because it says it's a YouTube premiere, so it looks like it's already pre-recorded, and then they're just uploading whatever they're talking about. So maybe that's the case here. So maybe that's the case. Let's see here. I think my chat box. I think my chat box is broken. Is it? Because I see people commenting, but my chat box isn't moving. So hold up here. Okay, yeah. My chat box was broken. Here, let me get my new chat box here. All right, here we go. I got a new one. So as soon as it starts to premiere, guys, we'll switch over. Yo, Fairy Tiger, what's up, my boy? Welcome to the stream. Glad I can stream for you guys at a decent time in Sweden. I broke it with the almond milk talk. Yeah, I think the racist guy broke it. I'm gonna blame it on the racist dude. I'm gonna blame it on the racist guy, dude. Let's see here. It's gonna have 16 teraflops. All right, 16 teraflops. Let's go. The combination of racism and almond milk was too powerful for the chat. The chat just said, "Oh snap!" Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Hey, what's up, WM? How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Gavin says almond milk. That's it. Just almond milk, dude. I expect a lot of buzzwords like AAA, teraflops in the presentation. Yeah, you got to. That's what you got to do. You got to do that, man. We broke it. Yeah, man. We broke it. Almond rights. Resident Evil 8 reveal Super Chris punches the boulders with Jack from RE7. Hey, dude, I like punching boulders. All right, RE5. Was that not like who played RE5 when it first launched? Who played it before they saw like didn't get it spoiled online? Like when I saw Chris Redfield literally punch a boulder, dude, that was like the most hypest thing I've ever seen. Oh my gosh, that was like the most hype thing that I ever seen was Chris Redfield punch a boulder and like literally punch a, just like not like a small boulder but like a freaking Colorado Rockies boulder, dude, like a big old huge boulder. He just starts punching the boulder. That's just so awesome, man. It's the greatest thing that I've ever seen. One of the greatest things that I've ever seen in a video game was when Chris Redfield versus Boulder, dude. So yeah, man. Yo, Scott, thank you so much. Appreciate that. That's not a serious question. Hey, Moo, don't give that guy that said that, Moo, don't give that guy that said that any attention, bro. He's looking for attention. He must be racist against almond milk, pretty much. Diamond, what are you doing with your name, dude? What are you doing with your name, bruh? Why do you have so many? What's up, OJ? How you doing, bro? Just to start things off, gotta let you know I'm going to quit feeling sorry for myself. I was thinking positively. Yeah, dude. We've been telling you that for the past year. We've been telling you that for the past year. That's called determination from Chris Redfield. Yes, it is. It is determination. Even though you didn't have determination to capitalize Chris's first name, it was definitely determination from Chris Redfield to punch that boulder. I'm just messing with you, Tommy. It's almost time. I got it open right here, guys. We're premiering in 2 minutes, so as soon as it starts up, we'll switch over. Don't worry. There won't be any interruptions too, so if there's notifications and all that, it will be. I'll go over all the notifications and stuff after the presentation is done. Apparently, it's going to be going for about 50 minutes. About 50 minutes for the presentation, so should be pretty good. Cause diamond shines bright like a diamond. Oh god, I'm done. Prediction $1,000. $1,000. 1,000. Yeah, no racism, Spyro. No racism jokes, bro. None of that here, man. Please. Let's see here. Tuxedo says, and it's also against YouTube TOS to be, by the way, and Twitch TOS to be racist, by the way, guys. I mean, that's just, it's not my rules exactly. It's also YouTube and Twitch's rules. It's actually against TOS to do that. You can get your account banned forever, especially if you're a content creator. But then again, YouTube and Twitch, they kind of loose with the rules at times. Let's see here. Rihanna's milk candy sponsored by Player Essence now available for quarantine. I have no idea what you're talking about, Jetty. Matthias says, even though we won't get a release date, I hope we reconfirm holiday 2020. Okay, so it says it will begin. The premiere will begin shortly. Okay, guys. So it has not started yet. So I'm not exactly sure what's the holdup, but they said it will begin shortly. So as soon as it starts, I will have it going for you guys. All right, but it has not started yet. It has not started yet. New Splinter Cell game. I don't know. Maybe Ubisoft will have that for us at E3. What do you like to see on PS5? Backwards compatibility, of course. Just some, maybe like a game or two. And of course, spec talk. I think that'd be fun. My teraflop body is ready. My teraflop is ready. What do you see, OJ? I see nothing. No, it's not up yet, Chaz. It's not up yet. It's gonna premiere It's gonna be up shortly. It's not starting yet. It's not starting yet. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Now it's starting. Oh well, not it started in 2 minutes. Yeah, I think it's already it's an edited video that they just uploaded because it's a YouTube premiere. So here we go. Just the premiere video. PS5 is boring. I mean, you don't gotta watch if you don't want to watch. I'm on the blog. I don't see that. Go on YouTube and you should be able to see it. Let's see here. That's a nice graphic. This is actually the standard graphic that they use for YouTube Premiere. This is not the graphic that Sony's using for their own for their own presentation. Like if you do a Premiere video on YouTube, this is how it's going to be laid out. So this is actually YouTube's thing that they do when you premiere a video. So you need to record your analysis afterwards. No, I'm recording a video, like a direct prediction stuff video with a couple different YouTubers. I love how my work meeting starts as soon as the event begins. Oh man, shaking my head. Let's see, I have my lunch and Dr. Pepper ready. Sounds like a good day, my boy. Sounds like a good day. I have the audio muted right now, but we'll turn it up. I'll just turn it up right now. Are you leaning towards getting one console first, or are you gonna get them both at the same time? I'll just get both of them, Henry Santos. I'll get both of them. Oh, also shout outs to Ghost Productions with the subscription. Appreciate that. Recommendations on how to get the chair that I got? Just dxracer.com. PS5 gameplay? Well, we'll see.
Hi. Unfortunately, we had to cancel the talk that we had planned for GDC. But we do have some super exciting news about PS5. And who better to bring that to you than the one and only Mark Cerny. Without further ado, over to you, Mark.
Thank you, Jim. There will be lots of chances later on this year to look at the PlayStation 5 games. Today, I want to talk a bit about our goals for the PlayStation 5 hardware and how they influenced the development of the console. I think you all know I'm a big believer in console generations. Once every 5 or 6 or 7 years, a console arrives with substantially new capabilities. There's a lot of learning by the game developers, hopefully not too overwhelming, and soon there's games that could never have been created before. Now, it used to be that as a console designer, you'd somehow intuit what would be the best set of capabilities for the new console, and then build it in complete secrecy. For the PlayStation consoles, that period lasted through PlayStation 3, a powerful and groundbreaking console, but also one that caused quite a lot of heartache, as it was initially difficult to develop games for. So, starting with PlayStation 4, we've taken a different approach, roughly centered around 3 principles. The first of these is listening to the developers, which is to say that a lot of what we put into a console derives directly from the needs and aspirations of the game creators. We definitely do have some ideas of our own, but at the core of our philosophy for designing consoles is that game players are here for the fantastic games, which is to say that game creators matter. Anything we can do to make life easier for the game creators or help them realize their dreams, we will do. So, about once every 2 years, I take a tour of the industry. I go to the various developers and publishers, sit down, and discuss how they're doing with the current consoles and what they'd like to see in future consoles. This requires weeks on the road, as reaching the bulk of the game creators involves talking to well over 100 people at something like 24 publishers and developers. And it is incredibly valuable. By the way, the feature most requested by the developers, that was an SSD, which we were very happy to put in the hardware, but a lot of problem solving was required. I'll be doing a deep dive on the SSD and surrounding systems later on in this talk. It's also key to make a generational leap while keeping the console sufficiently familiar to game developers. I think about this in terms of balancing evolution and revolution. Now, with PlayStation 1, 2, and 3, the target was a revolution each time with a brand new feature set. That was great in many ways, but time for the developers to get up and running got longer with each console. In the past, I've called this time to triangle. Here's what I had for those 3 consoles. To be clear, I'm not talking about time to make a game. Developers will be ambitious, and it may take them 6 years or so to realize their vision. What I'm talking about is that dead time before graphics and other aspects of game development are up and running, and trying to minimize that. On the other hand, if we're trying to reduce that dead time to 0, that means the hardware architecture can't change at all. We're handcuffed. We need to judge for each feature what value it adds and whether it's worth the increase in developer time needed to support it. So with PlayStation 4, we were able to strike a pretty good balance between performance and familiarity. We got required learning back to PlayStation 1 levels. With PS5, the GPU was definitely the area we felt the most tension between adding new features and keeping a familiar programming model. Ultimately, I think we've ended up with something under a month of getting up to speed. That feels like we're striking about the right balance. I'll go into a bit more detail later today about our philosophy with the GPU and the specific feature set that resulted from it. It's also very important for us, as the hardware team, to find new dreams, by which I mean something other than CPU performance, GPU performance, and the amount of RAM. The increase in graphics performance over the past 2 decades has been astonishing, but there are other areas in which we can innovate and provide significant value to the game creators, and through them, the players. That's why the SSD was very much on our list of directions to explore, regardless of what came out of the conversations with game developers and publishers. The biggest feature in this category is the custom engine for audio. That's today's final topic. The push for vastly improved audio, and in particular 3D audio, isn't something that came out of the developer meetings. It's much more the case that we had a dream of what might be possible 5 years from now, and then worked out a number of steps we could take to set us on that path. So here again are the 3 principles, the first being enabling the desires of developers to drive the hardware design. To me, the SSD really is the key to the next generation. It's a game changer. And it was the #1 ask from developers for PlayStation 5. As in, we know it's probably impossible, but can you put an SSD in it? That was a discussion we were also having internally. It was clear that the presence of a hard drive in every PlayStation 4 was having a positive impact. A lot of things that would simply have been impossible at Blu-ray disc speeds were now possible. At the same time, though, in 2015 and 2016, when we were having these conversations, developers were already banging up against the limits of the hard drive, and a lot of developer time was being spent designing around slow load speeds. I want to focus in on just one number here, which is how long it takes to load a gigabyte of data from a hard drive. The difficulty being that hard drives are neither particularly fast nor flexible. If all your data is in one block, which is frankly not very likely, you can load 50 to 100 megabytes a second, depending on where the data is located on the hard drive. Let's assume it's on the outer edge, which means loading a gigabyte takes 10 seconds. If you compress your game packages, you can fit more data on the Blu-ray disc and also effectively boost your hard drive read speed by the compression ratio. We support zlib decompression on PlayStation 4 that gets you something like 50% more data on the disk and 50% higher effective read speed. Unfortunately, though, it's highly likely that your data is scattered around in various files on the hard drive, as well as sourced from multiple locations within those files. So lots of seeks are needed at 2 to 50-ish milliseconds each. My rule of thumb is that the hard drive is spending 2/3 of its time seeking and only 1/3 of its time actually loading data. Putting all of that together, a gigabyte is very roughly 20 seconds to load from a hard drive. Now, a gigabyte is not much data. Games are using 5 or 6 gigabytes of RAM on PlayStation 4, so boot times and load times can get pretty grim. Or to put that differently, as a player, you wait for the game to boot, wait for the game to load, wait for the level to reload every time you die, and you wait for what is euphemistically called fast travel. And all of that leads to the dream. What if we could have not just an SSD, but a blindingly fast SSD? If we could load 5 gigabytes a second from it, what would change? Now, SSDs are completely different from hard drives. They don't have seeks as such. If you have a 5 gigabyte a second SSD, you can read data from 1,000 different locations in that second, pretty much at speed. As for time to load a gigabyte, this is next gen we're talking about, so memory is bigger. Instead, we should be asking how long to load 2 gigabytes. And the answer is about 1/4 of a second. I mean, that's amazing. We're talking 2 orders of magnitude, meaning very roughly 100 times faster. Which means at 5 gigabytes a second for the SSD, the potential is that the game boots in a second. There are no load screens. The game just fades down while loading a half dozen gigabytes and fades back up again. Same for a reload. You're immediately back in the action after you die. And fast travel becomes so fast it's blink and you miss it. As game creators, we go from trying to distract the player from how long fast travel is taking, like those Spider-Man subway rides, to being so blindingly fast that we might even have to slow that transition down. Pretty cool, right? But for me, this is not the primary reason to change from a hard drive to an SSD. The primary reason for an ultra-fast SSD is that it gives the game designer freedom. Or to put that differently, with a hard drive, the 20 seconds that it takes to load a gigabyte can sabotage the game that the developer is trying to create. I think almost all of us in the room have experienced this, maybe in different ways. Say we're making an adventure game and we have 2 rich environments where we each want enough textures and models to fill memory, which you can do as long as you have a long staircase or elevator ride or a windy corridor where you can ditch the old assets and then take 30 seconds or so to load the new assets. Having a 30-second elevator ride is a little extreme. More realistically, we'd probably chop the world into a number of smaller pieces and then do some calculations with sight lines and run speeds like we did for Haven City when we were making Jak 2. The game is 20 years old, but not much has changed since then. All those twisty passages are there for a reason. There's a whole subset of level design dedicated to this sort of work, but still, it's a giant distraction for a team that just wants to make their game. So when I talked about the dream of an SSD, part of the reason for that 5 gigabyte a second target was to eliminate loads, but also part of the reason for that target was streaming. As in, what if the SSD is so fast that as the player is turning around, it's possible to load textures for everything behind the player in that split second? If you figure that it takes half a second to turn, that's 4 gigabytes of compressed data you can load. That sounds about right for next gen. Anyway, back to the hard drive. Another strategy for increasing effective read speed is to make big sequential chunks of data. For example, we might group all the data together for each city block. That removes most of the seeks, and the streaming gets faster. But there's a downside too, which is that frequently used data is included in many chunks and therefore is on the hard drive many, many times. Marvel's Spider-Man uses this strategy, and though it works very well for increasing the streaming speed, there's a massive duplication as a result. Some of the objects like mailboxes or news racks are on the hard drive 400 times. What I'm describing here are things that cramp a creative director's style. Either level design gets a little bit boring in places, or the data is duplicated so many times that it no longer fits on the Blu-ray disc. And you end up with hard limits on the player's run speed or driving speed. The player can't go faster than the load speed from the hard drive. And finally, I'm sure many of you have noticed that after a patch download, a PlayStation 4 will sometimes take a long time to install the patch. That's because when just part of a file has been changed, the new data can be downloaded pretty quickly. But before the game boots up, a brand new file has to be constructed that includes the changed portion. Otherwise, every change would add a seek or 2. Even so, you can occasionally see this happening on game titles. They start to hitch once they get patched enough. With an SSD, though, no seeks, so no need to make brand new files with the changes incorporated into them, which means no installs as you know them today. There's yet one more benefit, which is that system memory can be used much more efficiently. On PlayStation 4, game data on the hard drive feels very distant and difficult to use. By the time you realize you need a piece of data, it's much too late to go out and load it. So system memory has to contain all of the data that could be used in the next 30 seconds or so of gameplay. That means a lot of the 8 gigabytes of system memory is idle. It's just waiting there to be potentially used. On PlayStation 5, though, the SSD is very close to being like more RAM. Typically, it's fast enough that when you realize you need a piece of data, you can just load it from the SSD and use it. There's no need to have lots of data parked in system memory waiting to potentially be used. A different way of saying that is that most of RAM is working on the game's behalf. This is one of the reasons that 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 feels right for PlayStation 5. The presence of the SSD reduces the need for a massive intergenerational increase in size. So back to the dream of the SSD. Here's the set of targets. Boot the game in a second. No load screens. Design freedom, meaning no twisty passages or long corridors. More game on the disk and more game on the SSD. And finally, those patch installs go away. The reality, though, is that the SSD is just one piece of the puzzle. There's a lot of places where bottlenecks can occur in between the SSD and the game code that uses the data. You can see this on PlayStation 4. If I use an SSD with 10 times the speed of a standard hard drive, I probably see only double the loading speed, if that. For PlayStation 5, our goal was not just that the SSD itself be 100 times faster. It was that game loads and streaming would be 100 times faster. So every single potential bottleneck needed to be addressed. And there are a lot of them. Let's look at check-in and what happens when its overhead gets 100 times larger. Conceptually, check-in is a pretty simple process. Data is loaded into system memory from the hard drive or SSD. It's examined, a few values are tweaked to check it in, and then it's moved to its final location. At the SSD speeds we're talking about, that last part, moving the data, meaning copying it from one location to another, takes roughly an entire next-gen CPU core. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. If all the overheads get 100 times larger, that will cripple the frame rate as soon as the player moves, and that massive stream of data starts coming off the SSD. So to solve all of that, we built a lot of custom hardware, namely a custom flash controller and a number of custom units in our main chip. The flash controller in the SSD was designed for smooth and bottleneck-free operation, but also with games in mind. For example, there are 6 levels of priority when reading from the SSD. Priority is very important. You can imagine the player heading into some new location in the world and the game requesting a few gigabytes of textures. And while those textures are being loaded, an enemy is shot and has to speak a few dying words. Having multiple priority levels lets the audio for those dying words get loaded immediately. On one side, that flash controller connects to the actual flash dies that supply the storage. To reach our bandwidth target of 5 gigabytes a second, we ended up with a 12-channel interface. 8 channels wouldn't be enough. The resulting bandwidth we've achieved is actually 5.5 gigabytes a second. With a 12-channel interface, the most natural size that emerges for an SSD is 825 gigabytes. The key question for us was, is that enough? I mean, it's tempting to add more, but Flash certainly doesn't come cheap, and we have a responsibility to our gaming audience to be cost-effective with regards to what we put in the console. Ultimately, we resolved this question by looking at the play patterns of a broad range of gamers. We examined the specific games that they were playing over the course of a weekend or a week or a month, and whether that set of games would fit properly on the SSD. We were able to establish that the friction caused by reinstalls or redownloads would be quite low, and so we locked in on that 825 gigabyte size, while also preparing multiple strategies so that those who want more storage can add it. I'll go through the details in a moment. Back to the flash controller. On the other side, it connects to our main custom chip via 4 lanes of Gen 4 PCIe. And inside the main custom chip is a pretty hefty unit dedicated to I/O. Before we talk about what that does, let's talk compression for a moment. PlayStation 4 used zlib as its compression format. We decided to use it again on PlayStation 5, but on my 2017 tour of developers, I learned about a new format called Kraken from Rad Game Tools. It's like zlib's smarter cousin. Simple, similar types of algorithms, but about 10% better compression, which is pretty big. That means 10% more game on the UHD Blu-ray disc or on the SSD. Kraken had only been out for a year, but it was already becoming a de facto industry standard. Half of the teams I talked to were either using it or getting ready to evaluate it. So we hustled and built a custom decompressor into the I/O unit, one capable of handling over 5 gigabytes of Kraken format input data a second. After decompression, that typically becomes 8 or 9 gigabytes, but the unit itself is capable of outputting as much as 22 gigabytes a second if the data happen to compress particularly well. By the way, in terms of performance, that custom decompressor equates to 9 of our Zen 2 cores. That's what it would take to decompress the Kraken stream with a conventional CPU. There's a lot more in the custom I/O unit, including a dedicated DMA controller. The game can direct exactly where it wants to send the data coming off of the SSD. This equates to another Zen 2 core or 2 in terms of its copy performance. Its primary purpose is to remove check-in as a bottleneck. There's 2 dedicated I/O coprocessors and a large RAM pool. These aren't Zen 2 cores. They're there principally to direct the variety of custom hardware around them. One of the coprocessors is dedicated to SSD I/O. This lets us bypass traditional file I/O and its bottlenecks when reading from the SSD. The other is responsible for memory mapping, which I know doesn't sound like anything related to the SSD, but a lot of developers map and remap memory as part of file I/O, and this too can become a bottleneck. There are coherency engines to assist the coprocessors. Coherency comes up a lot in places. Probably the biggest coherency issue is stale data in the GPU caches. Flushing all of the GPU caches whenever the SSD is read is an unattractive option. It could really hurt the GPU performance. So we've implemented a gentler way of doing things, where the coherency engines inform the GPU of the overwritten address ranges, and custom scrubbers in several dozen GPU caches do pinpoint evictions of just those address ranges. The best thing is, as a game developer, when you read from the SSD, you don't need to know any of this. You don't even need to know that your data is compressed. You just indicate what data you'd like to read from your original uncompressed file and where you'd like to put it, and the whole process of loading it happens invisibly to you and at very high speed. Back to the dream. Thanks to all of that surrounding hardware, our 5.5 gigabytes a second really should translate into something like 100 times faster I/O than PS4 and allow the dream of no load screens and super fast streaming to become a reality. Having said that, expandability of our SSD is going to be quite important. Flash is costly, and you may very well want to add storage to whatever we put in the console. Now, the kind of storage you need depends on how you're going to use it. If you have an extensive PlayStation 4 library and you'd like to take advantage of backwards compatibility to play those games on PlayStation 5, then a large external hard drive is ideal. You can leave your games on the hard drive and play them directly from there, thus saving the pricier SSD storage for your PlayStation 5 titles, or you can copy your active PlayStation 4 titles to the SSD. If your purpose in adding more storage is to play PlayStation 5 titles, though, ideally you would add to your SSD storage. We will be supporting certain M2 SSDs. These are internal drives that you can get on the open market and install in a bay in the PlayStation 5. As for which ones we support and when, I'll get to that in a moment. They connect through the custom I/O unit just like our SSD does, so they can take full advantage of the decompression, I/O coprocessors, and all the other features I was talking about. Here's the catch, though. That commercial drive has to be at least as fast as ours. Games that rely on the speed of our SSD need to work flawlessly with any M2 drive. When I gave the Wired interview last year, I said that the PlayStation 5 SSD was faster than anything available on PC. At the time, commercial M2 drives used PCIe 3.0, and 4 lanes of that cap out at 3.5 gigabytes a second. In other words, no PCIe 3.0 drive can hit the required spec. M2 drives with PCIe 4.0 are now out in the market. We're getting samples and seeing 4 or 5 gigabytes a second from them. By year's end, I expect there will be drives that saturate 4.0 and support 7 gigabytes a second. Having said that, we are comparing apples and oranges, though, because that commercial M2 drive will have its own architecture, its own flash controller, and so on. For example, the NVMe specification lays out a priority scheme for requests that the M2 drives can use. And that scheme is pretty nice, but it only has 2 true priority levels. Our drive supports 6. We can hook up a drive with only 2 priority levels, definitely, but our custom I/O unit has to arbitrate the extra priorities rather than the M2 drive's flash controller, and so the M2 drive needs a little extra speed to take care of issues arising from the different approach. That commercial drive also needs to physically fit inside of the bay we created in PlayStation 5 for M2 drives. Unlike internal hard drives, there's unfortunately no standard for the height of an M2 drive, and some M2 drives have giant heat sinks. In fact, some of them even have their own fans. Right now, we're getting M2 drive samples and benchmarking them in various ways. When games hit beta as they get ready for the PlayStation 5 launch at year-end, we'll also be doing some compatibility testing to make sure that the architecture of particular M2 drives isn't too foreign for the games to handle. Once we've done that compatibility testing, we should be able to start letting you know which drives will physically fit and which drive samples have benchmarked appropriately high in our testing. It would be great if that happened by launch, but it's likely to be a bit past it, so please hold off on getting that M2 drive until you hear from us. Okay, back to our principles. Balancing evolution and revolution is the second of them. This was definitely a recurring theme with the GPU. We need new GPU features and capabilities. If we only have more performance, it's not really a new generation of console. Of course, many of these capabilities result in more performance. That's part of why a PlayStation 5 teraflop is more powerful than a PlayStation 4 teraflop. But we aren't just looking for the performance. We also need the ability to do something with the GPU that could not have been done before. And we need higher performance per watt. Every time we double the performance of some GPU component, we don't want to find out we've doubled the power consumed and the heat produced. But at the same time, we have to make sure the GPU can run PS4 games, and we have to ensure that the architecture is easy for the developers to adopt. Now, backwards compatibility was handled masterfully by AMD. They treated it as a key need throughout the design process. As our solution to adding new features without blindsiding developers, we made sure that if there were new significant features, it would be optional to use them. The GPU supports ray tracing, but you don't have to use ray tracing to make your game. The GPU supports primitive shaders, but you can release your first game on PlayStation 5 without making any use of them. Before I get into the capabilities of the GPU, I'd like to make clear 2 points that can be quite confusing. First, we have a custom AMD GPU based on their RDNA 2 technology. What does that mean? AMD is continuously improving and revising their tech. For RDNA 2, their goals were, roughly speaking, to reduce power consumption by re-architecting the GPU to put data close to where it's needed, to optimize the GPU for performance, and to add a new, more advanced feature set. But that feature set is malleable, which is to say that we have our own needs for PlayStation, and that can factor into what the AMD roadmap becomes. So collaboration is born. If we bring concepts to AMD that are felt to be widely useful, then they can be adopted into RDNA 2 and used broadly, including in PC GPUs. If the ideas are sufficiently specific to what we're trying to accomplish, like the GPU cache scrubbers I was talking about, then they end up being just for us. If you see a similar discrete GPU available as a PC card at roughly the same time as we release our console, that means our collaboration with AMD succeeded in producing technology useful in both worlds. It doesn't mean that we as Sony simply incorporated the PC part into our console. This continuous improvement in AMD technology means it's dangerous to rely on teraflops as an absolute indicator of performance, and CU count should be avoided as well. In the case of CPUs, we all understand this. The PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 each have 8 CPUs, but we never think that meant the capabilities and performance are equal. It's the same for CUs. For one thing, they've been getting much larger over time. Adding new features means adding lots of transistors. In fact, the transistor count for a PlayStation 5 CU is 62% larger than the transistor count for a PlayStation 4 CU. Second, the PlayStation 5 GPU is backwards compatible with PlayStation 4. What does that mean? One way you can achieve backwards compatibility is to put the previous console's chipset in the new console, like we did with some PlayStation 3s. But that's, of course, extremely expensive. A better way is to incorporate any differences in the previous console's logic into the new console's custom chips. meaning that even as the technology evolves, the logic and feature set that PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro titles rely on is still available in backwards compatibility modes. One advantage of this strategy is that once backwards compatibility is in the console, it's in. It's not as if a cost down will remove backwards compatibility like it did on PlayStation 3. Achieving this unification of functionality took years of efforts by AMD, as any roadmap advancement creates a potential divergence in logic. Running PS4 and PS4 titles at boosted frequencies has also added complexity. The boost is truly massive this time around, and some game code just can't handle it. Testing has to be done on a title-by-title basis. Results are excellent, though. We recently took a look at the top 100 PlayStation 4 titles as ranked by playtime, and we're expecting almost all of them to be playable at launch on PlayStation 5. With regards to new features, as I said, our strategy was to try to break new ground, but at the same time not to require use of the new GPU capabilities. For more than a decade, GPUs have imposed a restriction on game engines. Software handles vertex processing, but for the most part, dedicated hardware is responsible for the triangles and other geometry that the vertices form. That means it's not possible to do even basic optimizations, such as aborting processing of a vertex if all geometry that uses it is off-screen. PlayStation 5 has a new unit called the Geometry Engine, which brings handling of triangles and other primitives under full programmatic control. As a game developer, you're free to ignore its existence and use the PlayStation 5 GPU as if it were no more capable than the PS4 GPU, or you can use this new intelligence in various ways. Simple usage could be performance optimization, such as removing backfaced or off-screen vertices and triangles. More complex usage involves something called primitive shaders, which allow the game to synthesize geometry on the fly as it's being rendered. It's a brand new capability. Using primitive shaders on PlayStation 5 will allow for a broad variety of techniques, including smoothly varying level of detail, addition of procedural detail to close-up objects, and improvements to particle effects and other visual special effects. Another major new feature of our custom RDNA 2-based GPU is ray tracing, using the same strategy as AMD's upcoming PC GPUs. The CUs contain a new specialized unit called the intersection engine, which can calculate the intersection of rays with boxes and triangles. To use the intersection engine, first you build what is called an acceleration structure. It's data in RAM that contains all of your geometry. There's a specific set of formats you can use. They're variations on the same BVH concept. Then, in your shader program, you use a new instruction that asks the intersection engine to check a ray against the BVH. While the intersection engine is processing the requested ray triangle or ray box intersections, the shaders are free to do other work. Having said that, the ray tracing instruction is pretty memory intensive, so it's a good mix with logic-heavy code. There's of course no need to use ray tracing. PS4 graphics engines will run just fine on PlayStation 5, but it presents an opportunity for those interested. I'm thinking it'll take less than 1 million rays a second to have a big impact on audio. That should be enough for audio occlusion and some reverb calculations. With a bit more of the GPU invested in ray tracing, it should be possible to do some very nice global illumination. Having said that, adding ray-traced shadows and reflections to a traditional graphics engine could easily take hundreds of millions of rays a second, and full ray tracing could take billions. How far can we go? I'm starting to get quite bullish. I've already seen a PlayStation 5 title that's successfully using ray tracing-based reflections in complex animated scenes with only modest costs. Another set of issues for the GPU involved size and frequency. How big do we make the GPU, and what frequency do we run it at? This is a balancing act. The chip has a cost, and there's a cost for whatever we use to supply that chip with power and to cool it. In general, I like running the GPU at higher frequency. Let me show you why. Here's 2 possible configurations for a GPU roughly of the level of the PlayStation 4 Pro. This is a thought experiment. Don't take these configurations too seriously. If you just calculate teraflops, you get the same number. But actually, the performance is noticeably different because teraflops is defined as the computational capability of the vector ALU. That's just one part of the GPU. There are a lot of other units. And those other units all run faster when the GPU frequency is higher. At 33% higher frequency, rasterization goes 33% faster. Processing the command buffer goes that much faster. The L2 and other caches have that much higher bandwidth, and so on. About the only downside is that system memory is 33% further away in terms of cycles. But the large number of benefits more than counterbalance that. As a friend of mine says, a rising tide lifts all boats. Also, it's easier to fully use 36 CUs in parallel than it is to fully use 48 CUs. When triangles are small, it's much harder to fill all those CUs with useful work. So there's a lot to be said for faster, assuming you can handle the resulting power and heat issues, which frankly, we haven't always done the best job at. Part of the reason for that is, historically, our process for setting CPU and GPU frequencies has relied on some heavy-duty guesswork with regards to how much electrical power games will consume and how much heat will be produced as a result inside of the console. Power consumption varies a lot from game to game. When I play God of War on my PS4 Pro, I know the power consumption is high just by the fan noise. But power isn't simply about engine quality. It's about the minutiae of what's being displayed and how. It's counterintuitive, but processing dense geometry typically consumes less power than processing simple geometry, which is, I suspect, why Horizon's map screen, with its low triangle count, makes my PS4 Pro heat up so much. Our process on previous consoles has been to try to guess what the maximum power consumption during the entire console lifetime might be, which is to say, the worst case scene in the worst case game, and prepare a cooling solution that we think will be quiet at that power level. If we get it right, fan noise is minimal. If we get it wrong, the console will be quite loud for the higher power games, and there's even a chance that it might overheat and shut down if we misestimate power too badly. PlayStation 5 is especially challenging because the CPU supports 256-bit native instructions that consume a lot of power. These are great here and there, but presumably only minimally used. Or are they? If we plan for major 256-bit instruction usage, we need to set the CPU clock substantially lower or noticeably increase the size of the power supply and fan. So, after much discussion, we decided to go with a very different direction on PlayStation 5. We built a GPU with 36 CUs. Mind you, RDNA 2 CUs are large. Each has 62% more transistors than the CUs we were using on PlayStation 4. So if we compare transistor counts, 36 RDNA 2 CUs equates to roughly 58 PlayStation 4 CUs. It is a fairly sizable GPU. Then we went with a variable frequency strategy for PlayStation 5, which is to say we continuously run the GPU and CPU in boost mode. We supply a generous amount of electrical power and then increase the frequency of GPU and CPU until they reach the capabilities of the system's cooling solution. It's a completely different paradigm. Rather than running at constant frequency and letting power vary based on the workload, we run at essentially constant power and let the frequency vary based on the workload. We then tackled the engineering challenge of a cost-effective and high-performance cooling solution designed for that specific power level. In some ways, it becomes a simpler problem because there are no more unknowns. There's no need to guess what power consumption the worst-case game might have. As for the details of the cooling solution, we're saving them for our teardown. I think you'll be quite happy with what the engineering team came up with. So, how fast can we run the GPU and CPU with this strategy? The simplest approach would be to look at the actual temperature of the silicon die and throttle the frequency on that basis. But that won't work. It fails to create a consistent PlayStation 5 experience. It wouldn't do to run a console slower simply because it was in a hot room. So rather than look at the actual temperature of the silicon die, we look at the activities that the GPU and CPU are performing and set the frequencies on that basis, which makes everything deterministic and repeatable. While we're at it, we also use AMD's Smart Shift technology and send any unused power from the CPU to the GPU so it can squeeze out a few more pixels. The benefits of this strategy are quite large. Running a GPU at 2 GHz was looking like an unreachable target with the old fixed frequency strategy. With this new paradigm, we're able to run way over that. In fact, we have to cap the GPU frequency at 2.23 gigahertz so that we can guarantee that the on-chip logic operates properly. 36 CUs at 2.23 gigahertz is 10.3 teraflops, and we expect the GPU to spend most of its time at or close to that frequency and performance. Similarly, running the CPU at 3 gigahertz was causing headaches with the old strategy. But now we can run it as high as 3.5 gigahertz. In fact, it spends most of its time at that frequency. That doesn't mean all games will be running at 2.23 gigahertz and 3.5 gigahertz. When that worst-case game arrives, it will run at a lower clock speed, but not too much lower. To reduce power by 10%, it only takes a couple of percent reduction in frequency, so I'd expect any downclocking to be pretty minor. All things considered, the change to a variable frequency approach will show significant gains for PlayStation gamers. The final of our 3 principles was about finding new dreams. It's important for us on the hardware team to find new ways to expand or deepen gaming, and that's what led us to a focus on 3D audio. As players, we experience the game through the visuals, through audio, and through the feedback we receive from the controller, such as rumble or haptics. Personally, I feel a game is just dead without audio. Visuals are, of course, important, but the impact of audio is huge as well. At the same time, the audio team on a game project has to do a lot with a little. For example, on PlayStation 4, there's fierce competition for the Jaguar CPU cores. Audio typically ends up getting just a fraction of a core. That's not much of a computational resource, particularly when you consider that the visuals run at 30 or 60 frames a second, but audio processing needs to happen at almost 200 times a second. So it's been tough going making forward progress on audio with PlayStation 4, particularly when PlayStation 3 was such a beast when it came to audio. The SPUs in Cell were almost a perfect device for audio rendering. Simple pipelined algorithms could really take advantage of asynchronous DMA and frequently reached 100% utilization of the floating point unit. There's unfortunately nothing comparable on PlayStation 4. Probably the most dramatic progress in the PlayStation 4 generation has been with virtual reality. The PSVR hardware has its own audio unit. It supports about 50 pretty decent 3D sound sources. And this provided a hint as to where we could go with audio, as well as some valuable experience. Not to oversimplify, but here were our goals for audio on PlayStation 5. The first goal was great audio for everyone, not just VR users or soundbar owners or headphone users. That meant audio had to be part of the console. It couldn't be a peripheral. The second goal was to support hundreds of sound sources. We didn't want developers to have to pick and choose what sounds would get 3D effects and which wouldn't. We wanted every sound in the game to have dimensionality. And finally, we wanted to really take on the challenges of presence and locality. Now, when we say presence, we mean the feeling that you're actually there. You've entered the matrix. It's not, of course, something we thought we could perfectly achieve, but the idea was that if we stopped using just a rain sound and instead used lots of 3D audio sources for raindrops hitting the ground at all sorts of locations around you, then at some point your brain would take a leap and you'd begin to have this feeling of real presence inside the virtual world of the game. This has the capacity to affect your appreciation of the game, just like music in a game does. The concept of locality is simpler. It's just your sense of where the audio is coming from, to the right of you, behind you, above you. This can immerse you further in the game, and it can also directly enhance the gameplay. To use Dead Space as an example, I know, old school, you're fighting enemies in fairly dark, spooky locations. Back in the day, if you played the game using the TV speakers, you could tell that there was one last enemy growling and hunting you down, but it was difficult to tell quite where that enemy was. With headphones, you could tell that the enemy was somewhere on the right, which let you deduce, if you couldn't see it, that it must be somewhere behind and to your right. But with 3D audio with good locality, the idea is you know the enemy is precisely there, and you turn and you take it out. So, how do we know where a sound is coming from in the first place? Well, all those bumps and folds in the ear have a meaning, evolutionarily speaking. Based on what direction the sound is coming from, sound waves bounce around inside the ear, there's some constructive and destructive interference, and the result is a change in volume. The phase of the sound also shifts, depending on what path the sound wave took to reach the ear canal. These volume changes and phase shifts are different for each direction and also vary depending on the frequency of the sound. Head size and head shape also impact the sound in a similar fashion. The way that the sound changes, based on direction and frequency, can be encoded in a table called the Head-Related Transfer Function, or HRTF. Here's part of one. The vertical axis is the frequency. The horizontal axis is the direction, front, back, left, right, and the color gives the degree of attenuation of the sound at that frequency. The HRTF is as unique to an individual as a fingerprint is. In fact, you're looking at mine right now. Here's how we measure an HRTF. We've taken hundreds of people through this process. We put a microphone in the subject's left and right ear canals, and then sit the subject down in the middle of an array of 22 speakers. We then play an audio sweep from each speaker as we rotate the subject. In the course of 10 or 20 minutes, we're able to sample the HRTF at over 1,000 locations. Using an HRTF when rendering audio creates unparalleled quality, but it's computationally expensive. The simplest way to use an HRTF is to process a sound source to make it appear as if it's coming from one of those 1,000 locations we sample. Unfortunately, the processing has to be done in frequency domain rather than time domain, so there's multiple fast Fourier transforms needed for every sound source for every audio tick. That's a lot of multiplies. This computational complexity was the determining factor for our strategy. It meant we had to bite the bullet and design and build a custom hardware unit for 3D audio. Collectively, we're referring to the hardware unit and the proprietary algorithms we run on it as Tempest 3D Audio Tech. The meaning of 3D audio and technology should be pretty obvious here. As for Tempest, I feel it really reflects our goals with audio. It suggests a certain intensity of experience and also hints at your presence within it. We're calling the hardware unit that we built the Tempest engine. It's based on AMD's GPU technology. We modified a compute unit in such a way as to make it very close to the SPUs in PlayStation 3. Remember when I said that they were ideal for audio? So the Tempest engine has no caches, just like an SPU. All data access is via DMA, just like an SPU. Our target was that it would have more power than a CPU, thanks to the parallelism that a GPU can achieve, and that it would be more efficient than our GPU, thanks to the SPU-like architecture. The goal being to make possible near 100% utilization of the CU's vector units. Where we ended up is a unit with roughly the same SIMD power and bandwidth as all 8 Jaguar cores in the PlayStation 4 combined. If we were to use the same algorithms as PSVR, that's enough for something like 5,000 sound sources. But of course, we want to use more complex algorithms, and we don't need anything like that number of sounds. It would have been wonderful if a simpler strategy, such as using Dolby Atmos peripherals, could have achieved our goals, but we wanted 3D audio for all, not just those with licensed soundbars or the like. Also, we wanted many hundreds of sound sources, not just the 32 that Atmos supports. And finally, we wanted to be able to throw an overwhelming amount of processing power at the problem, and it wasn't clear what any peripheral might have inside of it. In fact, with the Tempest engine, we've even got enough power that we can allocate some to the games, to the extent that games want to make use of convolution reverb and other algorithms that are either computationally expensive or need high bandwidth. But the primary purpose of the Tempest engine remains 3D audio. Now, 3D audio is a major academic research topic. It's safe to say that no one in the world has all of the answers. And the set of algorithms that has to be invented, tuned, or implemented to realize our vision for 3D audio is immense. For example, use of HRTFs in games is quite complex. Before, I talked about making a sound source appear as if it's coming from one of those 1,000 HRTF sample locations. But for high-quality 3D game audio, we have to handle other possibilities. The sound source might not be at one of the 1,000 HRTF sample locations, so we have to blend the HRTF data from the closest locations that we have sampled. The sound source might be moving, which needs very special handling as that blend keeps changing, and that can cause phase artifacts in the resulting audio. Or the sound source might have a size to it, meaning it should feel as if it's coming from an area rather than a single point. There's also whole categories of approaches to be handled. 3D audio can be implemented using individual processing of 3D sound sources. But alternatively, ambisonics can be used for 3D audio. Ambisonics being somewhat like the spherical harmonics used in computer graphics. And finally, there's audio devices. The player might be using headphones or TV speakers or have a higher-end surround sound setup with 6 or more speakers, all of which need different approaches. That's a lot of variations. It's nice to have the computational resources of the Tempest engine, but it's clear that achieving our ultimate goals with 3D audio is going to be a multi-year, step-by-step process. Having said that, headphone audio implementation is largely complete at this time. It was a natural place for us to start. With headphones, we control exactly what each ear hears, and therefore the algorithmic development and implementation are more straightforward. For TV speakers and stereo speakers, we're in the process of implementing virtual surround sound. The idea being that if you're sitting in a sweet spot in front of the TV, then the sound can be made to feel as if it's coming from any direction, even behind you. Virtual surround sound has a lot in common with 3D audio on headphones, but it's more complex because the left ear can hear the right speaker and vice versa. We have a basic implementation of virtual surround sound up and running. We're now looking at increasing the size of that sweet spot, which is to say, making the area you need to be in to feel the 3D effect larger, and we're also working to boost the sense of locality. Headphone audio is the current gold standard for 3D audio on PlayStation 5, but we're going to see what we can do to bring virtual surround sound to a similar level, after which we'll start in on setups with more speakers, such as 6-channel surround sound. It's now to the point where some of the PlayStation 5 games in development are extensively using these systems. One of the game demos allows you to toggle between conventional PlayStation 4 style stereo audio and our new 3D audio. I listened with just an ordinary pair of over-the-ear headphones, and wow, I could feel a difference. 3D audio has that dimensional feel to it. Conventional stereo audio feels smashed flat by comparison. The improvement is obvious. So, a big advancement, but have I entered the matrix? Does my brain believe I'm really there, like I was talking about earlier when I explained our target of presence? Well, the answer is no, but you've probably caught on to what's missing here, namely whose HRTF was being used. It wasn't mine, it was the default HRTF. The audio team analyzed the hundreds that they measured and chose the one they felt was the closest fit to the total game-playing audience. This shows a piece of the default HRTF on the left and my HRTF on the right. You can see that the general features are much the same, but the details are quite different. With the default HRTF, as I said, the 3D audio sounds pretty great. When I use my HRTF, though, the audio reaches a higher level of realism, which is to say that when using headphones and my HRTF, I occasionally get fooled and even think a sound is coming from the real world when it's actually coming from the game. A corollary to this is that there are a few people whose HRTFs are sufficiently far from the default HRTF, that's the red dot here, that they can toggle between PS4 style and PS5 style audio and not sense much difference. I've had a few people describe the PlayStation 5's 3D audio as sounding like a bit better stereo audio. Presumably they're the ones at the very edges of this diagram. Which means what HRTF you're using is key. I'd like everyone to be able to experience what I'm experiencing, but obviously it's not possible to measure the HRTF of every PlayStation user. That means HRTF selection and synthesis are going to be big topics going forward as the Tempest technology matures. At PlayStation 5 launch, we'll be offering a choice of 5 HRTFs. There's a simple test where you pick the one that gives you the best locality. That's just the first step, though. This is an open-ended research topic. Maybe you'll be sending us a photo of your ear, and we'll choose a neural network to pick the closest HRTF in our library. Maybe you'll be sending us a video of your ears and your head, and we'll make a 3D model of them and synthesize the HRTF. Maybe you'll play an audio game to tune your HRTF. We'll be subtly changing it as you play and home in on the HRTF that gives you the highest score, meaning that it matches you the best. This is a journey we'll all be taking together over the next few years. Ultimately, we're committing to enabling everyone to experience that next level of realism. Hopefully, I've been able to illustrate a bit about our design and decision-making process today and why PlayStation 5 has the feature set that it does. Now comes the fun part. We get to see how the development community takes advantage of that feature set. I'm hoping for the completely unexpected. Will it come from audio, ray tracing, the capabilities of the SSD, or something else? I guess we'll find out soon enough. Thank you for your time today.
I don't even know what to think. That was quite possibly the most boring. Look, what to expect from John. Oh God, John, tell us what to expect, please. Sorry, let me turn this down. Let me record this reveal so I can put it up on YouTube later. Honestly, the PS5, let me just first and foremost say this to everybody who's watching. Shout outs to YouTube. Shout outs to everybody who's watching. Shout outs to all the people here in the chat. Honestly speaking, dude, like, the PS5 is going to be a great system. I've already looked on Twitter, and look what John Lindemann from Digital Foundry says, is that, hey, look, it's a good system. It's fast. It's going to be good. We're going to be able to play great games. If you like third-party games, first-party games, everything's going to look great. I think the system's going to be great. But in terms of presentation, for the normal fans, that was straight garbage. What is all of this technical? It wasn't even if I was a developer, that would be boring. That was not, there was no real life demos or real life stuff that they can show. There was nothing there that actually has it right there, proof in the pudding. If you remember back when the PS4 was first revealed, like, they actually showed some games, and like they talked about the spec stuff, but they actually had some games being shown off and stuff like that, and they were talking about specs and what the system does in conjunction with actual games being shown. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the $2 donation, my man. I'll get to all this in just a bit. Give me just 1 second. Let me go ahead and put this alert box. I will put it back on. But they actually had stuff that was being shown that was in relation to the games when they first showed the sorry, did I say PS3? I meant PS4. When they first showed the PS4 off, there was literally no game, to even talk, like, there was like no game announcements, like no game in terms of like just showing off. Like, let's say, okay, you want to talk about SSDs or whatever and faster. They didn't even show like Spider-Man like side by side in comparison. Like, I thought that they'd even at least do something like that. If you want to focus on SSDs and faster and all this stuff like that, I would thought that they would even at least just say, okay, well, here's Spider-Man, and here's how it's so much faster, or here's God of War, and actually like show some video. They just showed pictures, just still shots of God of War with some other type of 2 times faster or 10 times faster than what we saw before. They even showed a picture of like Dead Space. It was just all still shots. It was completely boring for the average viewer, the average, most people. 99% of people that are going to buy this PlayStation 5 don't care about all this. Now, I understand it was for GDC. It was going to be Tech Talk. Like, I get that. I understand. But at the same time, like, that seems like it'd even be boring for developers. Even if I was a developer, that seems like it would be boring. Yes, you're going to be interested in seeing, you know, all the specs and how you're going to be able to develop games and everything. But it just seems like it was just not very well put together in terms of presentation. Like, I understand, like, you need to have specs and you need to have all this stuff like that, but we're getting to the point where I can see why Sony's a little bit worried about this upcoming generation. I can see this nervous, I wouldn't say nervous, but this ASMR presentation from Mark Cerny, you know, where he's sitting there for about an hour memorizing all this different stuff. I don't know if he was reading off a teleprompter or if he had notes, but I mean, did they really just make him memorize all of that? I feel bad for Mark Cerny. Did Sony really come out there and make this dude memorize everything that he just said in that presentation, because he wasn't stumbling over his words that much? So it seems like he had to be rehearsing that. I got to give credits, whatever they're paying him, good job, good on Cerny, because goodness gracious, man, the fact that he had to go up there and memorize all that, or memorize most of that, he's a very intelligent individual. Let me go ahead and give props to Cerny, that Sony made, you know, push them out there to do something like that. That seems boring as hell. When you see presentations for systems and stuff like that, there's a little bit of style, there's a little bit of flow, there's a little bit of that person's personal bravado built into it. You see it with Nintendo, for example, or sometimes you even see it with Microsoft and their presentations. You see it with Phil Spencer a little bit. You see his bravado, you see his personality, you see certain things that are kind of built into it. Mark Cerny is a very boring type of dude. You can tell because his presentation style put me to sleep. But he's basically he's a really smart individual, but goodness gracious, that presentation was just so boring. And I feel bad. I feel bad for Cerny. And I think that Sony fans are definitely going to be super, in terms of hardcore Sony fans, this is not what they were looking to see. Not only were they peddling stuff like, oh, this is going to be like a 13 teraflop system or right on Xbox Series X. From what I understand, it is a little bit weaker, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I think that the teraflop count, which is officially 10 point something teraflops, weaker than the Xbox Series X, and to get into that comparison. But at the same time, I don't think it's really going to be such a, at the end of the day, when we see the games, it's not going to matter. But this is the reason why I was talking about this whole teraflop stuff and this whole trying to get the comparisons to Xbox and all that. PlayStation fans really need to stop doing that because the system's probably going to be a little bit weaker. I said that before, it's probably going to be a little bit weaker because they're trying to find a good price for this system. They're trying to find a good price. And don't worry about teraflops. We should just worry about games. Don't worry about the tech talk and all that because teraflops don't play games. Yes, this is the stuff that makes it. And there's a lot of factual truth that comes into, what goes into these systems and what they can do and your gameplay experience at the end user. But at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff is through the development. How well is this developed for? You can play games on weaker systems. For example, the PS3 that look just as good or almost as good as PS4 games, you know what I'm saying? Or run great. It's about the development, it's about what the developer puts into the game. I'm playing Trials of Mana right now, PS4, PC, Switch, it all runs and plays great on all the systems. It's just a great game to play. So all this tech talk and all this stuff is just so, it's so boring. It's so boring at the end of the day because this is what they did before with the PS4, and with the Xbox One, they talk, well, not as much with the Xbox One, there was a lot of TV with that, but at the end of the day, all that matters is the games. And yes, I get it. They said that they're going to talk about games later, but like I said, as the end user, as the customer for Sony's system, which I'm going to buy the system, I want to hear about the actual what does the specs do for us in a tangible way. I felt like I was, what I'm saying, I was going through a lecture in calculus again. It was calculus or it was stats all over again, college OJ, you know what I'm saying? So for me, there was just a lot of just jargon that just went right over my head. Obviously, there's some of the stuff that I understood, but that was extremely boring from a end user standpoint. And I don't understand why Sony felt that it would be a good idea to peddle this out as the road to the PS5, and the first thing that we hear official details from somebody presenting on camera about the PS5 is Cerny sitting here and giving a lecture GDC talk. I think that was a bad idea. I think that what they should have done was probably just release this as a video, just upload it to YouTube. Don't give anybody any type of hype beforehand. Just upload it to YouTube. It shouldn't have been a premiere. It shouldn't have been something that they hyped up. It shouldn't have been see the road to play this should have just been a upload to YouTube and say, hey, this is up there. So then people can just watch it on their own volition. You shouldn't have hyped it as a presentation. You know what I'm saying? That we were going to they really shouldn't have, or they should have just said, hey, they should have let us know a bit beforehand because this was just completely underwhelming for most fans out there. I think for most people that just want to play games, that they're not into this technical stuff because they did this with the PS4 as well, and now they're sitting there talking crap about the PS4. Well, not talking crap, but they're sitting there talking about how PS4 was so horrible, this and that, but back then it was great. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's about the games. You know what I'm saying? It's about the games, and it seems like the system isn't 100% backwards compatible, if I'm not correct. Am I not right on that? Or maybe chat, you guys can help me, or people in the comment section. We still need more information, but apparently it's not fully backwards compatible. There's only certain titles that are backwards compatible. They said about 100 titles that are backwards compatible. Wait a minute, what? You can't just put a PS4 game in there and you can't just have it play on there? I didn't know that. So, I mean, they need to fix that. They need to make it 100% backwards compatible. That'd be great. But I mean, overall, it was just a boring talk. Like I said, Mark Cerny, he doesn't really have the type of voice and the type of like bravado that's going to get me more excited about talking about stuff like maybe like a Phil Spencer or a Reggie Fils-Aimé, or heck, dude, he might be underneath Doug Bowser. I'm not really sure. I mean, he's not like Nintendo's people that they got there. And you know, Nintendo focuses on games. Microsoft is doing a better job focusing on games as well, and just releasing specs on Twitter. I mean, they didn't sit there and do a presentation completely just boring us with specs to death. Microsoft is definitely playing this generation better so far. So to kind of get into the edge comparison, right now when I'm looking at things, the Series X definitely looks like the system that's going to be, in terms of the newer systems, that I think people might gravitate towards more. I mean, this could be a shift. I mean, obviously we have to wait and see. There is some great stuff about the PS5. You know, like I said, the memory bandwidth, from what I understand, like it's really fast on paper, according to John Linneman from Digital Foundry. So, you know, he's a tech guy. So apparently it's really faster than the Xbox Series X in some regards, and there should be some improvements and stuff like that. But I think that you're really only going to see that with first-party games. I think third-party games, at the end of the day, third-party games are going to be the same across the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. I mean, obviously, I mean, you might see some better frames here and there on Xbox Series X or whatever the case is, but they're going to look the same. They're going to perform the same. I think personally, maybe it's a bit better on some or not, just playing on things, but overall, I think it's just going to be the same. And this whole spec talk is just the same thing that we get every single generation, you know, but it is a big step up, you know, in terms of teraflop computing power, and also the architecture in terms of what they're using with the CPU, much better CPU than what the Jaguar cores and stuff that they did with the PS4. So it makes sense. I get it. We're going to get some great games. Third-party games are going to look great. There's going to be nice speeds and all that stuff like that. But this presentation was just horrible. It was just really bad presentation. And in terms of just the viewing experience, information was great, right? If you're into all that stuff, the information was great. They really laid it out for you, but the viewing experience was horrible. And this should have never really been a thing that they hyped up beforehand. And in terms of like the general viewer, they should have just said like, hey, this is just like our talk from GDC for developers. You want to watch it, check it out. And then they should have hyped up more about the games. But, you know, they still have the opportunity. They still have a lot of time before the release of the system. Obviously, it's going to release at the end of the year, maybe October or November. So they have plenty of time to show off games. They're probably going to do like their PlayStation Directs that they do, their State of Play. So they still have plenty of time to make that up. But as of right now, man, I am definitely not. I think the Xbox Series X to me has a little bit of the edge. People were asking me like, if I had to pick one. I'm getting both. I'm getting PS5 and I'm getting Xbox Series X. But if I had to pick one, what would I pick? You know, it would definitely be the Series X at this point. You know, but we don't have price. You know, we don't have price on that. But those are my thoughts. Those are my honest, raw reactions to this. It was a horrible presentation. It was boring. It was probably great for developers. Maybe they liked it more, but they didn't even get any video. I think the PS4 reveal, when they talked about architecture and specs, that was much better because they actually showed video. Yes, it was boring tech talk too, but I think the slides were even better too. Like, I think everything was better with the PS4 reveal in terms of how they revealed the system and what they showed. Like, they showed off NAC and talked about the tech. They showed off Killzone Shadowfall, that first footage of Killzone. It was much better back in February 2013, and I don't know why they went away from that. I think they should have did that. In terms of things to just make it a little bit more entertaining for the fans out there. I mean, they had like a highlight reel trailer in the PS4 reveal event. So this one was just way too boring for my own liking. They should have done what they did in 2013. I don't know how they maybe this was for GDC. Maybe this was pre-recorded and for GDC, but this definitely should have been something they should have revised and made it more watchable for the viewers out there. Like I said, it's still going to be a good system. I think the PS5 is going to be great. I think it's going to sell well. I think it's going to do great. I think the games are going to be fun. I think God of War and all the games are going to be, people are going to love it. I think the PS5 is going to be fine at the end of the day. But this presentation was horrible in terms of for the viewers. So those are my thoughts. What are you guys' thoughts? Please let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you can subscribe. Share the video if you can. And we'll see you guys for the next one. Peace. All right. That was my video for YouTube. Now I'm going to talk to you guys normally here. I have to record a video. I can talk for about maybe 30 more minutes. I've got a prior engagement that I got to record a video for in just a bit. So I can talk for about 30 minutes and get you guys' opinions on all of this. So let me know what you guys think about this, man. With the Xbox Series X, they actually showed gameplay. Yeah, that's true. Well, they actually showed, they showed like the videos at least. I mean, they didn't really show, like at the first reveal of the Xbox Series X, they didn't really show gameplay too much, but yeah, they actually showed some games like with that Game Awards, like, or they actually like said, hey, like here's some games, you know. So yeah, it was better, that's for sure. It was better. All right, so let me replay some of these donations. Juice Man Bomb with the $2 donation. Appreciate that. And he says, this was a while ago though. And he says, hey, finally awake. Or no, sending this super chat is more exciting than this. Also, Reflectable Studio with the $2 donation. He says, hey, finally awake. Yo, shout out to Reflectable Studio. Then also Volu with the $5 donation through super chat and says, I started that reveal with my Sony water, but ended with my Sony pillow. Oh, bro. That's funny. Also, shout outs to Avery James as well. Thank you so much, Avery James. Appreciate that. Welcome to the Elite Ninja Squad. You are an Elite Ninja, my boy. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Also, shout outs to all the new subscribers as well. SSJ, Rose, Little Joker, Greg McKenzie, and Christopher Perkins. Thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, so let's get into you guys' thoughts on this, man. Did they talk about Jack, though? Could we see a new Jack game for PS5? They did talk about Jack, but, I mean, they didn't really show anything, so I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. Everyone's bashing the console based on architecture. Everyone's basing the console war on architecture video. LMAO, low IQ individuals. I mean, people just want to see games at the end of the day. They just didn't show enough. They just didn't show any games. It was just boring. I'm going with Xbox for the America. I sent you a dono. Did you? Oh, where was it, Avedon? I didn't see it on my page here. Are you sure it went through? Or is it... When did you send it? My boy Avedon. If you did, thank you, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it pop up. Was it through Super Chat? I know you usually do Streamlabs, so I didn't see it on my list here, my boy. Maybe it's taking a little bit of time to get here. Maybe there's a little bit of a delay. Nah, somebody didn't donate $2 billion. No. Game Fan says, didn't that crowd look fake? Maybe it was. I'm going to sleep now. Thanks for streaming. All right, Darth Wesker, thanks for coming out to the stream. It was just $2. Positive Wave. Sony didn't hype anyone though. Did you guys not read the PlayStation tweet yesterday? He said deep dive into PS5 architecture. They kind of did hype people up though. They did kind of hype people up by announcing it before. That should have just been a video that they should have just released on YouTube. And it shouldn't have been a YouTube premiere, that's for sure. If you want to talk about hyping people up, they literally built in the tools that YouTube says, hey, hype people up. YouTube Premiere, you want to know what YouTube Premiere is for? When you're premiering something that's like supposed to be exquisite, like something like, oh, look forward to this, you know what I'm saying? So you're sitting there and saying that Sony didn't hype people up, yet they're using a feature on YouTube that's literally built to hype people up. What are you talking about, my boy? They YouTube premiered the video. I mean, they should have just scheduled it as an upload if that's the case, but they YouTube premiered it. There's a freaking 2-minute countdown before the video started. What are you talking about? They did hype it up. That is hyping it up. Then why are you using YouTube Premiere? I'm not YouTube premiering my regular videos, am I, to you guys? Or if you guys just get the videos when they're scheduled, you guys just get them? But when you YouTube premiere something, that means you're trying to build hype. That they literally use the tools that is built for hyping people up into their presentation. Otherwise, they would have never YouTube premiered it. They would have just released the video on YouTube. So yeah, stream the demo for Trials of Mana. I am gonna stream it. I just have work that I got to do today, but I will definitely stream the demo for Trials of Mana. I will stream it at some point.
Hey fellas, put your dollars.
Shadow Fox Infinite with the $5. Avedon, I don't see where your donation went, dude. I don't think it went through. And Shadow Fox with the 5, he says, Sony stream set me straight here after it ended. We moving up, fam. Cerny is my kind of nerd. Love the HRTF charts. LOL. Well, yeah, Shadow Fox, you're into all that. So did you find the presentation like interesting? I did it. I know, but you're a tech guy though, so I know you probably found it really interesting. Thank you for the $5 donation though, man. I appreciate it. Did you start the Trials of Mana demo on hard? Yeah, the demo's on hard for me, but it doesn't seem too hard, to be honest. Well, I haven't fought any bosses yet though, but yeah. Let's see here. Frank R says we need to be entertained and wake everyone up. well, when you put it like that, they did hype people up. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't say that they hype people up if they didn't hype people up, but they did hype people up. I mean, yes, it wasn't like they were hyping people for like a whole week or anything like that, but dude, they fired Sean Layden without even letting anybody know. They put out a tweet, and then when they fired Sean Layden, you know what I'm saying? Like, they do things spontaneously sometimes. They should have just done that with this. This should have just been a tweet. This should have been a PlayStation blog post and a YouTube video. Like, it should have just been like, hey, here's a deep dive into the PS5 architecture. It should have just been a post on Twitter. Here's a deep dive into the PlayStation architecture. PlayStation blog, YouTube video, that's it. That's what this should, in my opinion, that's what this should have been. It should have been a YouTube premiere. They should have let us know the day before. There's literally no reason to sit there and tell us this a day before. There's no reason. You should have just, today, wake up in the morning, hey, here's a deep dive into the PlayStation architecture. Here's the video. Go watch it. That's it. You know, that's what it should have been. Honestly, that's what it should have been. But hey, you know what? Whatever. Whatever. Let's see. They could have shown the PS5 at least. Well, they could have, but they didn't. They could have, but yeah, it was on my left account. Yeah, you know what, Avedon? I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Maybe something didn't go through. Also, shout outs to Mayhem W with the subscription. I appreciate it. The Emperor says, "Oh Lord, it's crazy on Twitter right now. The 10.3 teraflops." I knew that, Baron. I knew that was going to be a thing, dude. Like, I knew it. As soon as I saw the official specs, I'm like, oh no, here we go. Here we go. All the crazy Sony fans, all the crazy Xbox and the teraflop wars have begun, boys and girls. This is going to be bad. All these Nintendo's like at 0.1 teraflops compared to these systems. So, I mean, all these teraflop wars, dude, it's like, whatever. I'm playing Trials of Mana. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all can have your teraflop war. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just going to play video games, you know? Like, the teraflop wars have started. Michael Doofy with the subscription. Thank you so much, Michael. Appreciate that. Welcome to the Elite Ninja Village. So let's see here. Zelda's biggest fans is bro. Spawn had like 2,500 people with him. That's crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of people watching because he's a tech guy, so of course he's gonna have a lot of people watching. I didn't even look at how many people I had watching, to be honest. I don't even know what my peak was. But it makes sense. I mean, he's a big channel. He has he has 400,000 subscribers, so yeah, it makes sense that he'd have a lot of people watching. Let's see. It definitely seems like they were fighting. They're trying to compensate for the PS5 not being as powerful by overwhelming everyone with technical jargon. maybe. Well, and that was like a GDC talk. You know, it was a GDC talk, so it makes sense for like that type of GDC talk and all of that. You know, so it is what it is there, though. You know, it definitely is what it is there. But yeah. Yeah, man. Let's see here. 700 plus for you. Was that my peak? 700 plus? Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for me. I'm not a tech channel. I'm not like a PlayStation channel either. So 700 plus is pretty good. I'll take it. It's the bit wars all. Yeah, it is. It's definitely the bit wars all over. It is the bit wars all over again, dude. It really is. Let's see here. Sony presentation equals 13 reasons why teraflops don't matter because they don't have as many as Xbox and every console. So definitely not a fanboy. Seems compensating. Well, they were talking about the architecture. That was the whole thing about this. Was talking about the architecture. I mean, should we go on the cesspool that is Twitter right now? Should we go on the cesspool that is Twitter right now and discuss this? Oh my gosh, I don't even want to sit here and talk about this type of stuff, man. Oh my gosh. People over here trying to defend Mark. People over here trying to defend Mark Cerny. Mr. Lacey with the $5 donation. Put the dollars in your pockets, and he says, "I'm interested in how we're going to manage storage on these systems and external storage." SSDs, proprietary SSD memory. I mean, that's what it looks like it's gonna be. That's what it looks like. But thank you for the $5 donation, Mr. Lacey. I appreciate that. All right, take it easy, Jose. Thanks for coming out to the stream. Could we see a new Sonic game for the PS5? Of course, we're gonna see Sonic on the PS5. We're gonna see Sonic on the PS5. We're gonna see Sonic on the Switch. We're gonna see Sonic on the Xbox One. I mean, that's like saying, are we gonna see a new NBA 2K game or a new Madden game? Let's see. I wonder what the Japanese think. I don't think they care. The Japanese people don't care right now at this point. This definitely was not for the Japanese audience. It wasn't even subtitled, unless there was Was there a Japanese broadcast? I don't think there was even a Japanese broadcast. Was there? Like that subtitled it. So those expansion SSDs are going to be hella expensive. Y'all beeped about buying external HUDs for the Wii U and SD cards for the Switch. Yeah, people complained about that. Wait till you get some of these SSDs that you're gonna have to have, by the way. So yeah, yeah, interesting. Seventh Beast says, you think games can go back to just insert the disc and play next gen? Nah, you gotta download. You've gotta write the game to your hard drive. You gotta write the game to the SSD. So no. I mean, no. I mean, Switch, you're going to get that sometimes with Switch where you can just insert the game and maybe there's a little update, but you can just insert the game and play. But no, the games are going to be, you have to download the game to the hard drive. Have to. Any games you like to see on this new platform? Persona? I don't know. God of War? I don't know. The normal games that we usually see. Oh, these Sony simps already jumping to defend on. Oh, dude, the Sony PlayStation fanboys are like. The Sony PlayStation fanboys are like this.
No! This presentation was fantastic! I don't know what did you guys expect? What did you expect? No, I don't care what anybody says! Ah! The PlayStation! Ah! No! Rocksteady! It was a good presentation! Ah! No! Ah! These wizards! Ah! No! They can show games later! Where are you? Ah!
Don't ask me why I have this mask right here, by the way. Let's see here. Tell me what the price of the PS4 is going to be. The PS4 is already on the market. You can get one for like $200 if you want. I think you probably meant PS5. Toby had to show up today. Some of these places they're going. It's gonna be fun to watch. It's gonna be fun to watch, dude. I'm just trying to browse for this stuff right here, man. I'm just trying to browse for this stuff. Let me see. Let me see if I can get some good stuff here. Oh man, let's see it. Let's see it. Oh my gosh. Rob from Ruler 2 Review says, look, I understand that this was initially a GDC presentation to developers but not meant for the mass market gamer audience, but once you make the decision to stream and promote it, maybe it's time to adjust your show so that people can get some things to be excited for. This is an opportunity to get yourself out there, make an impression, and start to counter some of Microsoft's momentum. And they do have all the momentum right now, Sony. You flopped around on stage like a fish out of water. How long have you been doing this again? I think Rob is one of the most even, if not the most even killed person. One of the most even killed people that I know. And the fact that he's sitting there and just saying it was a flop. It was a flop. It was definitely a flop. Audio chip seems interesting, but I'm thinking to utilize as much as the HD Rumble on Switch. It might be more impactful for PSVR 2. Yeah, I don't give a damn about PSVR 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. We got to buy the PS5 and then we got to buy PSVR 2. It's like they can take that. They can take that PSVR 2 turn it sideways, and stick it straight up your... I'm gonna stop right there. Shine it up real nice and shiny, and stick it straight up your candy. You know what? I don't care about PSVR 2. I gotta buy a PS5, PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Now, PlayStation VR. Get your peak. I will backhand Sony if they think I'm gonna buy PSVR 2. They can chill with that nonsense. PSVR 2. Get the hell out of here. You sit here talking about PSVR 2 before you even show us the actual system. Get that nonsense out of here. I'll backhand the hell out of him for even bringing that up. I didn't even talk about that. PSVR 2. I ain't trying to... Bruh. Come on now. PSVR 2. Hey guys, just buy your system. You just strap it up. 3D audios, headphones, users, just play with Sony remotes. Like, bro. Get that nonsense out of here. Get that nonsense out of here, bro. So yeah, we get that nonsense out of here, bro. Let's see here. I missed it. Did they show the PS5? They didn't actually show the actual system. They just showed they didn't really show anything. They just talked about specs. You know? They just talked specs, really. You should cosplay Barrett. Yeah, I'll cosplay Barrett, and your mom can cosplay Aerith. We'll both do it together. MDZ. Let's see here. Juice Man Vaughn says Sony is also simping or pimping 3D audio like you need a PS5 to experience it. Yeah, I guess, dude. Let's see here. Rec says PS5 price on your opinion. The PS5 price, in my opinion, 500. That's what I would guess. 500, man. Remember how cool the Switch presentation was in January? Yeah, the Switch presentation in January was amazing. Way better compared to this, like way better. Way better. But yeah, Uncharted should look really good. Uncharted should look super, super good. You know? It should look really good. So yeah. You're sold on Xbox now. I'm glad Microsoft is competing. Comp is good. I mean, compared to the 2017 Switch presentation, compared to this, obviously blows it out of the water. But like the Sony presentation in 2013 blew this one out of the water, you know? So like the first reveal, you know, in terms of what they showed to the public of the PS5, you know, with the video, with the actual video, like in terms of Sony talking, that in 2013 was way better than what we saw right now. But yeah, definitely, absolutely. I think even, bro, even that little blurb from the freaking Game Awards was better with Phil Spencer talking, like, because Phil Spencer he didn't sit there and bore us with all sorts of technical jargon. They just showed us a little fake reel of stuff. They showed the Xbox series, like they showed what it looked like. They showed the system, what it looked like. You know, I mean, it was cool. Like it was better than what Sony just did. That's for sure. Watch Xbox steamroll Sony now. Nah, they're not going to steamroll them because Sony has too many dedicated fans that will always buy PlayStation no matter what. I mean, look at the PS3 for example. So. It was purely for the devs. I understand, but they hyped it up for everybody else, though. Like, I get it. If it's purely for the devs, that's cool. I get it. But they hyped it up. They YouTube premiered it, and they hyped it up for the general viewers. Because if it's purely for the devs, that's fine. But then you should have just sent them flash drives with the presentation, or you should have just sent them an unlisted email or something like a privated email, then give them a code to watch it. Like if it was just, but they hyped this up for the users too, for the fans as well. So, I mean, I don't want to hear it was just for the devs type of deal. Not saying that you're just saying that. Like, I get it was for the devs and I understand that. But when you YouTube premiere it and when you put it out there on Twitter and when you make it, you know, for everybody, that's when you have to sit there and scrutinize it because it's for everybody. Because there's all sorts of stuff that developers know that we don't know. There's all sorts of information that Sony gives the developers that we don't know. You know, they tell developers things, obviously, that we don't know. So there's always stuff that we don't know that developers know. But they put this out there for everybody. So, you know, I don't want to hear it was just for the devs. Because then they should have just made it just for the devs then. The devs could have saw this presentation in complete anonymity. You know what I'm saying? And nobody could have known about it, or very few, or it could have been like a rumor, you know? But they presented it to the general public, the general gamer, you know? So yeah. Yo! Shout outs. Abaddon with the 50 says, gets me doing 2 Trials of Mana giveaways. Yo, let's go. Yo, thank you so much, Abaddon. I appreciate the 50. Unlocking the Rinnegan. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate the 50. We'll definitely get that going for you. In order for Microsoft to surpass PS5, they got to have better exclusives. I think that's going to be the key, Real Gamer. 27. Thanks for coming out to the stream. That's going to be the key. Obviously, the exclusives are going to be key, but I think that price is going to be key, too. I mean, like, we still need to know about, I mean, I'm pretty sure you heard about it already, Real Gamer, and people in the chat, but like, we still need to know about the Lockhart, the cheaper price system, because for as long as Microsoft and Sony has been doing these higher price systems and like a cheaper system, the cheaper systems have always done better. You know, the Xbox One S sold better than the Xbox One X by a large amount. You know, the PS4 standard sells better than the PS4 Pro. So you got to think about that. Like that Lockhart system could be the X factor in all of this. Could be that if the rumors are true and there is a $300 Xbox One X or Xbox One, or not Xbox One, Xbox Series S. Let's just call it Xbox Series X. So a next generation, cheaper price Xbox for $300. That could be the X factor in all of this, you know, because people could just opt for that to get their next gen experience and still have a good games that play well, because Xbox One X plays games well and they look great. So that obviously the next Series S, we'll just call it Xbox Series S, you know, that's going to be good too with the newer architecture and everything like that, even if the teraflop count isn't as high. Maybe you don't get true 4K or whatever, but you get checkerboard, you know, you get better frame rates because the CPU's better, you know, so that people could just opt for that, you know, over the Series X. That's definitely a factor here, you know. So yeah. Yo, shout outs to Frank R. Finding the opening thread with that $25 donation. Thank you so much, Frank R. He says, thanks for streaming this today, regardless of how dull it was. I enjoyed the content in it, but damn, this presentation could have used some flair and still more entertaining, even if it's direct for devs. Yeah, I agree, man. Seriously, I agree, dude. I think that it was definitely a bit, definitely a bit dry. But let me change this top stream board. My boy Abaddon with the 50. Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much, and Frank R with the 25. I appreciate you, man. Shout outs to Frank R. You guys give some love to Abaddon and Frank R supporting the stream. Abaddon with the top stream ninja as well. All right, I can stream for about like another maybe 15 minutes or so, then I got to get ready for a video recording. Oh, and snap, yo, shout outs, guys. We're at 214 Elite Ninja. Yo, let's go. Thank you so much for the support, boys. Appreciate that. Manny Smurf, dude, yo, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Give it about 10 minutes. You should be able to comment. Spyrover says, seeing as soon as you will be off yourself, it'll be oh, okay, see you later. Okay, loving the stream. All right, take it easy, Spyro. Thanks for coming out to the stream, man. I feel like they could just take the Xbox One X, throw in the SSD, and call it the Series S, and it'd be enough. Throw in an SSD, the Xbox One X. Okay, throw in an SSD, then call it the Series S, and that would be enough. I think. Well, you need the CPU. The CPU needs to be, you know, it needs to be similar to the newer end CPUs to take advantage of the next generation stuff that they're doing in terms of speed and the SSD. So you're gonna need to upgrade that a bit. I don't think you can use the same CPU that was in the Xbox One X, because to be honest, that's what holds the Xbox One X back a little bit, is not the GPU computing power. It's really good. It's the CPU in there. So I think they'd have to update that just a bit. I wouldn't want them to use the exact same thing with the SSD, because the system wasn't built for SSD, so you won't be able to take advantage of the SSD like put into an Xbox One X. So yeah. So let's see here. Xbox One X was $199 a few days ago and sold out. It's actually still $199. And sold out. I mean, that's relative to stock. Let's see here. PS5 later in June. Maybe. Probably around E3 time. PS3, PS2 on PS5. I don't think so. Right now they have a limited selection of about 100 PS4 games that are on PS5. So I'm not sure. I think maybe it might be possible down the line, but they didn't talk about, oh yeah, we're gonna have this many PS2 and PS3 games on PS5. It looks like those are getting yeeted for right now, or unless they introduce like software emulation later. But they didn't really talk about it too much. So yeah, Sony should have just stayed quiet. They shouldn't have hyped this up though. Like I think that it's not that they should stay quiet. They just shouldn't have hyped this up, as much. Let's see. The best thing, Switch's target resolution is still 720p docked. All those Series X and PS5 games can be ported over to Nintendo Switch box. I mean, we'll see. I think a lot of developers are probably just going to say screw it. They're not going to do it. And I think that they might wait for Nintendo to release like a Switch 2 by the time that things get going there. But I think that if games are still coming to the Xbox One and the PS4, then yeah, some of those developers will port over some of those games that are technically, next-gen games, but are really cross-gen games. So I think that. And I think by the time that people actually start developing for next-gen particularly, Nintendo will have a Switch 2. Like Square Enix said, like, it's going to be like a few years before they start developing particularly no PS4 and Xbox One, just PS5 and the next Xbox, it's going to be, they said a few years or a couple of years or so down the road. So I think by the time, 2-3 years from now, Nintendo will probably have like the Switch 2 ready to go. So I think it might be, I don't know, who knows what will happen. Exactly. Okay, yeah, so you think it's the same thing there. All right. I no longer am getting this at launch. Only 100 PS4 games has me leaning towards the Series X instead. Yeah, that was, well, they might add more though. They might add more, so we have to wait and see. 100 of the most played PS4 games. So it's going to be all Call of Duties. That's pretty much what's going to be. It's going to be Call of Duty. All the Call of Duties are going to be backwards compatible. FIFA's going to be backwards compatible. Madden. It's going to be all of the popular games. So all of your niche Gravity Rush isn't coming, boys. No Gravity Rush for you. Most played games, Gravity Rush ain't on there. That's for sure. But it was marketed as a deep dive for the PS5 architecture, with Mark certainly not as a big hype reveal for the PS5. It was fine for what it is, for what it was. No, it was YouTube premiered. When you YouTube premiere it, you're premiering that for the general audience, Renevere. So you might think that, and I get what you're saying, but there's a lot of people that disagree with that. It's not fine for what it is, because what they should have just done for what it is, because when you talk to developers about development stuff, you don't YouTube premiere development talk. Who in the world? When have you ever watched a presentation since the inauguration of the internet from Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, where they have YouTube premiered with no games, okay? Where they have hyped up for the general public, YouTube. They could have easily put out a video in the morning and said, yo, this is for developers, but we go into a deep dive. They YouTube premiered it. They put it on their YouTube channel. They talked about it the day before. When you do that, you're talking to the general public, not to developers. So I don't want to hear it is for what it is. No. Because nobody's done that before. Whenever you do a public appearance, you're talking to gamers, and if you're trying to talk to developers. This was purely for developers, and you put it out there, we're allowed to critique it. Because I've never seen any company do that. Microsoft, Sony, I mean, even Sony with the last time. In 2013, they talked about development stuff. That was for the developers too. But they still showed some actual live, like, hey, this is what we can do with the tech. Unreal Engine 4 NAC. Look at all these different balls that are all over the place. Look at how good Killzone looks. So at least there was some stuff for us as well. The minute that you want to YouTube premiere something and you want to show it off to the public, that's when you lose the whole for what it is in developers. No. We can critique it in that way. If it was boring, it was boring. You know what I'm saying? Because they're the ones who put it out there and hyped it up and YouTube premiered it, not me. If it was just a video that they just put up on the PlayStation blog, okay, hey, this is for developers, deep dive, that's it. I get that. But scheduling it, setting for reminders, YouTube premiering, no. You're hyping it. No. You're hyping it for the general public. And we're expecting some type of gameplay, at least maybe just a little bit. They did that with it in 2013. So I mean, Renevere, I understand, but I ain't trying to hear that, bro. Like, really, I'm not trying to hear that because they're the ones who YouTube premiered it. They're the ones who sat there and they're there's not developers watching this crap on YouTube. Developers have this information that they get through emails and through videos and through private stuff. They were showing us, so I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that right now. I get what you're saying, and trust me, there's a little bit of me, Renevere. I understand, but don't YouTube premiere it then, because YouTube isn't for developers. That's not where developers go to get their development information, through YouTube. Come on, man. And announcing it the day before. I mean, did we hear Nintendo's like, okay, we're gonna show you guys the tech behind this Nintendo Switch, and we're gonna YouTube premiere the damn tech behind the Nintendo Switch technology. They never did that. So no, I don't want to hear. Microsoft didn't do that. Nintendo didn't do that. Dude, even Stadia. Oh God, Stadia. Am I really gonna sit there and say Stadia? Bro, even Stadia had games. Bro, even Stadia showed games, and the tech, they had developer talk, but they had games to go along with, like, at least they showed some games. I mean, even Stadia did it. Come on, man. Come on now. There's no defense for that, in my opinion, bro. There's no defense for that. There's no defense for it. Let's see here. To be fair, though, I think people nowadays are starting to use YouTube Premiere as a tool. But how many YouTubers do you know that YouTube Premiere something like that, though? Like, I don't ever use... When you use YouTube Premiere, it's to hype something. It's not a tool for you to talk about something boring. That's not what YouTube Premiere is for. It's not... Okay, seriously, like, what if I YouTube premiered a damn PE news video? What if I YouTube premiered an eShop sale? What would you guys think? Y'all would be like, why are you YouTube premiering an eShop sale or a freaking PE news video? Like a standard type of deal. Or what if I... Come on, bro. Like, Premiere is for hype, man. It's for hype. It's hype for the general audience. You know, like, I mean, come on. Oh my gosh. I agree, but Sony is a big company and just not a normal channel. I understand, Frank, but there's no excuse for it being that boring, dude. Like, there's no excuse for it being that boring. Like, I get what you're saying, but there's no excuse for it being that boring. There should have been at least a little bit of like they should. Okay, look, SSD is fast, right? They should have showed like actual footage of Spider-Man running with the SSD, and it's quicker, right? Your top 100 PS4 games. Okay, show us some of those top 100 PS4 games then. Show us some of it. Show us the speeds in terms of what you're doing. Like, all I would have wanted is a little bit more actual content, you know? Like exactly like a college lecture. That's not it, fam. I get what you guys are saying. Those who are trying to, defend it a bit. Like, I get it, but I'm not on that boat, in terms of things. I'm definitely not on that boat. It was just... I mean, I think the general thing is this. Like I said before, I mean, Jason Schreier said this. The PlayStation 5 development in terms of the speed and the SSD and all that, it really is going to, like, games are going to be amazing on there. I think that this is going to be an amazing system. I think people are going to have a lot of fun with it. But the marketing, I mean, Jason Schreier said the same thing. Sony's marketing couldn't have been handled any worse. The way that they revealed this is not how you reveal this. Like, people are sitting there and saying, oh, well, Microsoft is better, teraflops. Even though that doesn't say the whole story. Like, that's why you don't talk tech specs. That's why you don't talk teraflop numbers as the first thing. You should have had something ready for the general audience. That's why you don't do that. When you talk tech specs and teraflops, it confuses the hell out of people, and people don't know, and all they look at is the biggest numbers. They don't understand this SSD and development thing. That's why you need to actually have proof of concept. That's why people are crapping on Sony. The PS5 is a great system. It's going to be a good system. It's going to be fast. It's going to be good. There's going to be, dude, God of War and Horizon, all these games are going to look amazing on there. Trust me. It's going to be a great system, but everyone's kind of crapping on it right now because of the presentation. The marketing was horrible for it. Like, it wasn't presented in a manner that was great, Just like Nintendo knows, their strong point isn't tech specs. So they're not going to come out and tell you a bunch of tech specs about the Switch, because why? That's just going to confuse you, and you're just going to compare it to the other systems, and people are just going to look at teraflop numbers versus the Switch teraflop numbers and say, oh, this system sucks, because it's just, look at how much higher the number is. When you don't have games and you don't have proof of concept, that's what people say. If you have proof of concept, nobody's going to care about teraflop counts and teraflop power when you have proof of concept. For example, PS4 Pro, right? God of War. You look at God of War on PS4 Pro, you look at the best looking games on Xbox One X. Does anybody care about Xbox One X having a higher teraflop count compared to God of War on PS4 Pro? No, they don't. Or even on base PS4. No, they don't, because PS4, God of War on PS4 looks incredible. It looks just as good, if not better, than every single Xbox One X game out there. It really does. It doesn't matter about the damn teraflop count. It's proof of concept. You know what I'm saying? It's proof of that. So when you just simply talk about numbers and don't show anything, this is what people say. This system sucks. This system is so much weaker. This system's not good because this system has more numbers. You know, like that's why you don't do that. You know? That's why you don't do that crap, because this is what happens when you do that, you know? Web TV, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate that. Also, Raul Espinoza, thank you for the subscription. Appreciate that. Welcome to the village. Shaunaverse, thank you for following. Appreciate that. See what I'm saying? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? We still don't know what the console looks like. At least the Xbox is show a fridge when they show the specs. That's true. Xbox is definitely having a little bit more fun with things. PS5 has better features than the Xbox. I don't know how PS5 has better features than the Xbox. I don't see that yet. Yo, the Boo with the Joe. Thank you so much, the Boo, with the $10 donations. I think this was a planned presentation that made for reporters and journalists at GDC, and then we would get info through them. When GDC got canceled, they went this route. It was a big mistake. It was, but they should have made it more entertaining for sure. So they definitely should have made it more entertaining. Thank you for the $10, man. We learned about ear shapes. Are you Trap Magician or whatever your name is, Madison? When does it start? First of all, I'm not a dumbass. I'm not a dumbass at all. I'm actually college educated. I got 2 degrees. You know what I'm saying? I got one from your mother, and the second one that I got was from my actual college professors and everything like that. So that's the first thing. And second thing, you already missed the presentation, my man. Okay, so maybe you should have actually researched a little bit yourself before you came here to start talking smack. All right, the presentation is already over. Okay, it's already over. You missed it. Okay, so we're talking about afterwards. The presentation is done. Fraud. Anyway, moving on. But no, I actually do have 2 degrees. I have a degree in communication and a degree in kinesiology, and I have 3 if you count. 3 if you count my AA degree from junior college. But I don't. Who counts that? Those are useless. Well, at least mine was useless. But anyway, let's see here. I'm like, why is Wayne's World hosting? What are you talking about? I love how Xbox is having fun with it and involving content creators. Yeah, that's good. Maybe PlayStation has nothing to show. Well, they said that they have 100 PS4 games that are running on there. LOL obliterated. Look at this dude's. Look at all these sock accounts that this dude has. Look at all these sock accounts. Hey, bro, get banned. Oh, he's already banned. Get banned. Time this idiot out. Hide this man. Get this man. With this sock account. It's not my fault you missed it because you're an idiot. You couldn't wake up for the time, bruh. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me because you missed the presentation. I'm still alive. Yes, I'm still alive. Apparently. Am I still alive? I think so. Let me check. Apparently. Yeah, yep. I'm still alive. This man's ultra salty. This man's ultra mad. Dude comes here and gets mad at me. Why? What happened, bruh? Why are you so mad, bruh? The presenter look like Dana Carvey. Okay. Mazen says pizza. All right, pizza. Hopefully Microsoft does better with all that power. I mean, the games are gonna look the same. The third-party games are gonna look exactly the same, in my opinion. Just keep on, hey, keep on banning that dude. I'm not even gonna acknowledge him. This man's super mad at this point. He's big mad. Let's see here. I thought they was trolling us. Who you thought Sony was trolling us? 9.2 teraflops. No, it's not 9.2. It's 10 point. It's like 10 point something. So I mean, Jason Schreier said the same thing here. He says, "Seems like a bad marketing move to release a technical spec sheet that looks significantly worse than your biggest competitors, then put out an incomprehensible hour-long lecture video rather than showing actual game footage to demonstrate what makes your console unique." But hey, that's exactly what I said. Jason Schreier said the same thing that I was saying. Like, you put out these numbers and you have these tech specs. On paper, it looks worse than your competitor, and you show no games. Whereas Microsoft actually showed in-engine Hellblade. They showed in-engine stuff. They actually showed Halo Infinite. You know what I'm saying? Like, they showed stuff already. So I think it was a bad move. And this could be something that really hurts Sony. It was just a bad move, man. There's no PS5 Pro, at least not right now. At least maybe there is one, but we don't know about it. There might be a PS5 Pro, but I mean, what's the point of having a PS5 Pro? Like, how much stronger can you make a PS5 Pro at this point? So I don't think there's gonna be a PS5 Pro, honestly. Teraflops don't mean jack. I mean, they really don't. 10.28 teraflops is the base PS5, not the PS5 Pro. Yeah, 10.28 teraflops. Yeah, Abaddon said that he sent over two $50 donations for one for a giveaway, but I only got one of those. I did not get two of them. I only got one, so that's unfortunate. Let me talk to Abaddon about that. Let's see. This Trials of Mana demo is not awesome. This voice acting, bruh. Zelda's biggest fan. I don't know. You tripping, son. That Trials of Mana demo is freaking amazing. What are you talking about? And if you don't like the voice acting, you can simply turn it to Japanese and read the text. But I don't know why the voice acting doesn't make the game good. The gameplay is amazing in that game. What are you talking about? You tripping, bruh. Series X is just a high-end PC. I think Series X and also PS5, they're both just basically PCs, but with, you know, console type of stuff. But yeah, these are definitely more PC, even more PC-ish than before. I should time out that comment. Which one? No, he's entitled to his opinion about Trials of Mana. I just highly disagree with him. Highly disagree with that comment in terms of Trials of Mana. It's a great game. Trials of Mana is freaking awesome. I don't know what he's talking about in terms of it not being awesome. The demo's not awesome. The demo is amazing. You get tons of gameplay in there. You can level up. You can transfer the save file over to the main game. Great action gameplay. They have a dodge roll in there. They have a bunch of skills and stuff to unlock. It's a great action RPG. It's smooth, feels good, controls are good. Why would the game's good? But if he doesn't like it, he doesn't like it. But I'm gonna disagree. If he wants to put his opinion out there, I'm gonna put my opinion out there. Yo, the Boo, what's up, my boy? The voice acting for English is mad, but I just switch to the Japanese voices. I mean, it's all right. It's not anything like, it's not like freaking horrible. It's not the best, but it's not horrible. It's fine. I've seen a lot worse. I was mad creepy when they asked us to send them pictures of our ears. Sony got an ear fetish for PS5 generation. I know, seriously, bro. The gameplay is amazing in Mana. Yeah, and like the original game doesn't have voice acting at all. So I mean, I'm down with it. I'm down with it. I'm down, man. But yeah, if that's his opinion, that's fine. I just disagree. It's fine. No biggie. He doesn't have to buy the game, or he doesn't have to like the game. And not everybody's gonna like everything that I like or what you like, so it's fine. Opinions. I don't know what you're disappointed with. If you don't like the art style, you don't like the game, that's fine. But I don't really see what's wrong with the art style and what's wrong with the game, like how it looks and stuff. But if you're not fine with, if you're not a fan of it, that's fine. Don't play the game. Because I'm personally shocked at how good the dub of Charles remake is. Yeah, I think most people are gonna like it and everything. I definitely think he's more in the minority in terms of it. More in the minority. That's fine. It's his opinion. Let's see here. Konatari says, "Hey OJ, I just turned in. Did you finish the Trials of Mana demo yet? How long is it? Sorry, the question was asked already. I don't know how long it is, but I haven't finished it yet. But you can like level up to like I think 7 is the max level. But it's definitely a good demo. They definitely give you a lot of gameplay in there. I downloaded the demo for both Switch and PS4. Gonna try them both. Who's tried the PS4 demo? Who's tried the PS4 demo and the Switch demo? Who's tried both? Can somebody tell me how it is in terms of like the comparison? Because I haven't tried the PS4 demo yet. 2 to 3 hours? Okay. I don't know. I think I've spent more than 2 hours. I've spent around 2 hours in the game already, but I've been leveling up and stuff like that. So I guess mine's a little bit different. I'm wondering when Chrono Trigger in 2020 would look like. Much I would prefer like Final Fantasy VII Remake, but I'm on PC. See, I think Final Fantasy VII Remake is poisoning your mind, Zelda's biggest fan. that remake is poisoning your damn mind in terms of remakes from these classic games. The chances of you getting remakes that look like Final Fantasy VII, if I were you, I would drop that expectation ASAP. You're going to be disappointed with a lot of stuff. Most games aren't going to look like that. Developers don't have the money to make games that look like that. And the game's being split up. The game's being chopped up into pieces because of how much money it takes to make the game look like that and run like that. So if I were you, I would drop that logic ASAP, or you're going to be disappointed a lot. Old school games aren't going to get remade like Final Fantasy VII. So expect to be disappointed a lot more. Party Man says, I'm getting kind of tired of bringing up that it's supposed to be fair to GDC. We don't already know that. LOL. They still hyped it up at the end of the day. We cannot enjoy it. Yeah, exactly. I'll let you know once I start. I just want to compare which one to get, visuals versus portability. Yeah, for me, RPGs, I've got to have RPGs portable for me. So even if the graphics are better on PS4, which there probably are in the frame rate or whatever the case is, like I don't like being confined to TV. Like for an RPG, I want to be able to play lying down. I want to be able to play like power leveling, like when I'm watching, TV or when I don't watch TV. When I'm watching Forensic Files and all that, like I don't want to ever be bogged down to have to use a TV for RPGs. Like if it's like a shooting game or something like that, like an online game, or I don't play those much. But if it's like that, then I don't, PS4 might be a better option, or Xbox One X. But when it comes to RPGs, I kind of like those to be able to play anywhere, just because they're long. I need to have more time to play them. But that's just my own personal experience. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't grind it all. You probably played it on normal too. You didn't play it on hard either. No, Charles about it. I always get credit for another amazing action RPG. Yeah. Frank R says, but it makes sense. Final Fantasy VII look the way that it does for the remake. Trials of Mana has no reason to look like that realistic. It would kill it for me. Yeah, exactly. I think that's the biggest thing. Like Zelda's biggest fan, he's taking art like Final Fantasy because he likes the graphics of that, and then he's trying to sit there and say that games that don't have that art style, because Chrono Trigger has an anime style art style. If anything, it should look like Dragon Quest. That's should be what it looks like. It's Akira Toriyama. You know what I'm saying? And he's trying to say, oh, let's put it in Final Fantasy. Let's make it look like that. Hell no. I don't want all the games to look the same. If Chrono Trigger has its own art style, Mana series has its own art style. They took the art style from the Mana series, which is a little bit more bubbly, lighthearted, and they adapted it for the 3D. I don't want every game to look like Final Fantasy VII or to look like other games. Just like I don't want every game to be Octopath, right? I don't want Chrono Trigger to be Octopath. I don't want Trials of Mana to be Octopath. I want games to have their own unique styles. People need to stop sitting there and saying games that have this style, it should look like this game. Like, why? Let them have their own style for the fans. It's so silly. It's the same thing that some people are trying to say Bravely Default 2. I don't like the style. It should look like Trials of Mana. No. Bravely Default has its own style. It has like this clay art pop-up book type of style. You know what I'm saying? Like a little bit more like a chibi or whatever the case is. It has its own style. Let it have its own style. We don't need games to be copying every other game. Like, you know, like if it's a Akira Toriyama style game, then it should look like that. That's what they should bring it over to, like Chrono Trigger. If it looks like Bravely Default with the claymation or the clay art or the pop-up book style with the hand-drawn stuff, then they should adapt it to look like that in the modern sense. If it looks like Mana with the cute, kind of bubbly, lighthearted type of characters and creatures, then it should look like that. It doesn't need to look like Final Fantasy VII. What the hell? Like, Final Fantasy VII, the art style is based off of what it was supposed to look like back in 1997. That was the feel of Final Fantasy. So they adapted for the modern day. I don't understand this. It needs to look like this. This needs to change our styles to look like. Why? That's nonsense. That's just complete nonsense. Everything's gonna look the same then. Why should we do that? I don't get it. I don't get it. I can't ever get into 3D. Then don't play them. Stop bitching about it so much and just don't play them. Like, I don't. Then stop. Go play realistic looking games then. I don't understand why you're complaining so much here. Then don't play them. Move on. If you don't like the look of them, then stop playing those games. If that's what's stopping you from playing, then stop playing them. But no, it should not do what you want them to do just because you don't like the look of them. Feel free to not play them. Play Final Fantasy VII Remake. Play the realistic looking games. I don't understand why you're sitting there trying to argue for it to look like the way that you want it. It should look like this game because I don't know. You should just not play it. Just skip them. Feel free to not play them. Feel free to not play them and play something else. But for the fans of Chrono Trigger and for the fans of Mana, stop trying to sit there and say it should change because you don't like it. No, it should be the way that it's supposed to be. The way that the art's, it should be different. It should be unique to what it's supposed to be, not what you think it should be based off because you don't like it. No. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You know? That's like me saying, oh, they should take Call of Duty and turn it into an RPG because I don't like first-person shooters. What the hell is that? Or they should take and turn the art style into something more better because I don't like the art style. No, Call of Duty has Call of Duty. Call of Duty's art style is Call of Duty. Because you know why? Because people like that. People like Call of Duty's art style for what it is, and they like Call of Duty for what it is, so it should be that. It doesn't need to change because I don't like it. You know? I'm not going to sit there and go on to live streams and say that I'm complaining this game's horrible because of this. It's like, just don't play it. Or just move on. Play something else. Play Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's coming out before Trials of Mana, so just play that. Or so you're gonna make that child cry? Like that. I don't understand this logic. I mean, Double D, you hear about it too. People complain. Like, I don't understand this logic. This should not look like this. It should look like this. Why? What is the logic behind that? This game should look like this game because I don't like it. Why should two games look exactly the same? That doesn't even have the same. Why? Like, what? What logic is behind that? They should definitely change COD because I don't like the generic war shooters. Well, no, they shouldn't. Because COD sells and people love COD. People really legit like love COD. It shouldn't change. You know why it shouldn't change? Because people love COD. So it shouldn't change. Now, you can not like it. And I know you're just joking around, by the way, Dawson. I know you're joking. But no, it shouldn't. It really shouldn't. The Boo donated. I am ranting so hard I missed the donation. The Boo donated $5. Says $5 for the Walmart Punisher hoodie. Yeah, man, I love this Walmart Punisher hoodie. This is like 2-3 years old and it's still working, man. But thank you for the $5, man. But yes, I was ranting so hard I missed your donation. Sorry about that, my boy. But I got you, the Boo. Shout outs. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for the support, bro. Reading up on the Mana series, the cute bubbly art style is done on purpose as a cool contrast to the dark themes of the game, right? The art style fits perfectly. Yeah, it is. The game is actually very. It has a lot of dark themes. Obviously, if you read like the backgrounds of each characters and what happens and, you know, everything, there is a lot of dark themes, you know, in the game, but it's a contrast to it. That's just how the Mana series is. The Mana series has always been like that. It's always been like that. So I don't want it to change. It doesn't need to change. It doesn't need to be like Final Fantasy VII Remake. It really doesn't. Because it just doesn't need to. And then like the enemies too. Like imagine those enemies, like the little, you know, the little blobs that attack. Imagine them looking more realistic. Like, it's based on the characters, it's based on the enemies, it's based on the art style. Like, it shouldn't change, in my opinion. So yeah, man. But OJ, Crunch gives us the greatest movie of all time, The Last of Us. Yeah, man. I don't know why you keep saying big pun in the house. I don't know why you keep saying that. But anyway, whatever. Dragon Cat says, I've played the Final Fantasy before. I have ever played Final Fantasy before. Should I get Final Fantasy VII Remake as my first Final Fantasy game? Sure. Sure. Why not? So yeah. Sure, get it. I like to have portable JRPGs on the Switch too, but I don't have any RPGs on my PS4. I don't mind being on the TV. Yeah, if you don't mind being on the TV, if you really want to just be on the TV, then get the PS4 version. If you're not worried about portability, then yeah, PS4 version is fine because you're gonna get probably like better resolution or whatever. But the game looks good. I think I've seen like the PS4 version running. I've seen the Switch version. It's pretty close. I think they might have used the Switch version as a base. To be honest, they might have used and then like ported it to the PS4. I don't really know because the PS4 version probably should look a lot better than it actually is. Than it actually looks if they actually took advantage of the PS4. But that game is definitely not taking advantage of the PS4. Like in terms of like its full capabilities and all that and what it can do. So I think they kind of just made like the outline base graphics of what they wanted to go for, which was probably like the Switch. And then they just said it's going to look like this across all the systems, but maybe better resolution and frame rate. But it looks very similar. It looks very similar on PS4 from what gameplay videos on YouTube, but that's compressed, you know. So yeah. I know this is not something, but in the chat, but the Xenoblade video I made recently has almost 500 views. You mind at the end of the live stream, can you share it with everyone here? I've got to go. If you link the video, Sweeney, so just, you can link the video. If you want to watch Sweeney's Xenoblade video, check it out. You can link it, Sweeney. You're a mod, so you can link it. Do you think the PS1, but yeah, no problem, Sweeney. And I appreciate the support, my boy. Just link that video and let people know about your channel. Do you think the PS1/PS3 backwards compatibility might still happen on PS5? I think maybe software type of stuff. Yeah, maybe software emulation. Hey, OJ, I overstepped. Did they show the PS5? They didn't actually show the PS5 system. No. No, they didn't. All right, guys. What we're going to do, I actually got to get ready for a video that I got to record with somebody else. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. We had great viewership for this whole stream, so thank you guys so much for that. Sweeney, link that video. Thank you guys for the donations. The Boo. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming back to the stream. Thank you for supporting, man. What was that? $15 today? Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Abaddon we're gonna have a Trials of Mana giveaway, but only one of the donations showed up for some reason. So once we get that figured out, then we'll have that. Frank R, thank you for the 25, man. Mr. Lacey, thank you for the 5. Shadow Fox, thank you for the support. Volu as well, thank you for the support. Reflectable Studio, thank you. Juice Man Vaughn, thank you. Thank you guys for the new subscribers. Everybody who came out to the stream, I appreciate all of you guys. I really do. Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll be back later tonight for the wrap up. Okay, we'll be back later tonight for the wrap up of the PS5 stuff. We'll talk about it. We'll go over more things. My reaction to the PS5. I'll edit that video and I'll probably have that video up later today. So you guys will be able to check that out, or maybe tomorrow morning as well. So yeah, maybe I'll clickbait it with something stupid and a good thumbnail. So maybe I'll have it up tomorrow morning. But thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate that. And we will see you guys later. We'll have another video later today. Like I said, stream later today. We're going to try to see if we can play Mario Kart today too. Mario Kart tonight as well. So we're going to try to do that. We're going to try to get Mario Kart in no matter what. We're going to try. I'm going to try my hardest, man. I'm going to try my hardest. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate that. And no, I don't hate you. Zelda's biggest fan. I don't hate you. I appreciate you coming out to the stream. I just think that your logic is silly. You don't have to like a game, but if you don't like art styles, why do you keep playing them? You're already hating on the game because of the art style. You don't like it because of the art style and voice acting. Why keep playing them? You don't like Dragon Quest art style. You want everything to look like just go play Final Fantasy. Just go play realistic looking games. Stop wasting your time and then stop coming here and complaining about stuff that you already know that you're not going to like. It's a waste of time. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And we'll see you guys later. Peace. Deuces.